As the Tom Sox come onto the field, we kick things off with you here on this Sunday evening from Willie T. Barnett Baseball Field. Hello, I'm Dylan Price, joined alongside Matt Cabron, bringing you all the action on this Sunday night as we round out a scorcher of a week here from CHS. And we have a hot clash between two of the upper echelon teams in the South Division, the Charlottesville Tom Sox and the Staunton Braves. Sox come in with a 14-4 record on the campaign, 8-1 at home, and they'll go up against the Staunton Braves, who have a 10-9 record. And well, you're not having deja vu. This time we just flipped the script. We're at a different park, but it's the same teams yet again. Matt, you were on the scene last night as the Sox, led behind a Johnny Lopez jack, came out victorious.
I was going to say, Dylan, you said it so perfectly. We got the home-and-home series today. We're back at CHS at Willie T. Barnett Field here in Charlottesville, and yesterday was an absolute slugfest for the Tom Sox. 11-5 victory, two massive home runs. You just mentioned Johnny Lopez. I mean, I don't think they're still saying, Dylan, that ball's still in the air. It has not come down yet. And then Robbie Levy joined the party by hitting one into the trees, into the Stanton night. And a big reason for the win yesterday was a big 4-run sixth inning. The bats just kept flying. Guys kept getting on base. And for Stanton, there were a few technical errors in the defense, but now we get to run it back here at CHS. It's a beautiful day. That's the best part about baseball, Dylan. No matter who wins today or tomorrow, there's still another game tomorrow, and that's where we are today.
Well, today it's Thomas Whalen on the bump for the Sox to kick things off. It's his first start of the season. He's appeared in 3 games up to this point with a 1.35 ERA, opposing batting average a staggering 143. He's pitched 6 2/3 with 8 strikeouts, so a little over 2 innings pitched per outing up to this point. Look for it to be a bit of a bullpen day by committee here, but it's Thomas Whalen to go up against Jacob Lester, who leads off for the Braves. Tim Dickinson at second base, batting second. Jake Del Torre, who had a homer last night, batting third at short. Wyatt Campbell at first base, the cleanup hitter. Brad Garner, the designated hitter, bats fifth. A.J. Wenrich in right field, bats sixth. Ike Schmidley bats seventh in left field. Frankie Carreras doing the catching, batting eighth. And Nate Prince in center field, bats ninth. Whalen's ready. Lester's ready. And Strickland's ready with the glove up. Whalen kicks the leg, fires. Beautiful pitch that breaks over the heart of the plate, and we are off and running. 7:01 first pitch here from CHS. Some weather in the area, but for now, all things clear, knocking on wood here at CHS. Whalen kicks the leg, fires this roped over to second. Wynn will just take a step forward and corral it in for out number 1. With that said, let's set the defense for you. It's Levy at first, Wynn at second, Parham at short, and Lopez at third. In the outfield, it's rolled in right, Mijos in center, Books in left, and doing the catching this evening, it's Cale Strickland from Auburn, as he has and as he will continue to do. Lester's line out, now setting up Tim Dickinson, second baseman here, coming by way of St. Joseph's University in Glen Mills, PA. First pitch to him called high, ball number 1.
Dickinson 1 for 3 yesterday, was on base twice, 3 times yesterday, got hit by a pitch, ended up scoring, got walked, had to have a single in the 7th. One of these fast base runners here for the Braves.
Roped into right field, that's going to drop down, and Dickinson going to sprint on over to first and stick and stay there for a base hit. So with 1 out, 1 runner will now be on for the Braves, and Jake Del Torre coming to bat.
You were talking about Thomas Whalen, Dylan, before the game started here. His first appearance since June 14th in that 5-4 win against the Cavaliers. I spoke with head coach Randy Tomlin yesterday, and we thought we were going to have Whalen yesterday. He told me in the pregame, but he said how the game yesterday will determine if Whalen goes tonight. Here he is on the mound, and yesterday Ethan Sutton was so dominant for the Tom Sox. We'll get to that in a second.
First pitch to Del Torre, outside, ball 1.
And yesterday, Whalen not going because of how good the bullpen was yesterday. Sutton gets to start yesterday, 4 2/3, 2 hits, 2 runs, 2 walks, 5 strikeouts, so he was electric on the mound, and that was also going down early with the 2-1, giving up the home run to Del Torre. He just said, it's pitch by pitch, and he has great bats in his lineup to pick him up, and that's what the Tom Sox did yesterday. Hopefully they can do the same for Whalen.
Runner on first, the 1-0. Swing and a miss on the inside pitch, jammed them up a little bit there, and the count now even at 1 apiece with an out and the runner on. Not a huge lead for Dickinson, just kind of hopping around over there. For now, he's at bay. The 1-1 coming from Whalen. Kicks the leg, fires, line back.
Dylan, we had 3 home runs yesterday, as I mentioned in that game. One off the bat here of Jake Dalchuri. Out of the 3 home runs, his was definitely up there for one of the longest ones next to Lopez's. It was just an absolute oppo taco over that right field fence, and it got out of here in a hurry, and it just did not look back.
Daltori looking to do it again, try and drive in Dickinson, who the throw over from Whalen to Levy, checking in on him, but diving in safely. Now Daltori from New Orleans. Strickland gonna gun down, and he's got him with time to spare. A low ball set up Strickland nicely to pop right up, feed it over to Wynn, and catch Dickinson stealing. So that'll bring it to 2 outs, and it's a 2-2 count on Daltori, and now nobody on. Whalen can just settle in here, try to knock down Daltori and tee up the bats and go to the bottom of the first. The 2-2 with 2 down. Incoming. Whalen fires. Called strike 3. Thomas Whalen works through a sort of 1-2-3 inning. No runs, 1 hit, no errors, and nobody left on base. We head to the bottom of the first, and the Sox are coming to bat. Hang with us on Tom Sox TV. Back at you on Tom Sox TV, and we head to the bottom of the first with the Tom Sox coming to bat. They'll go up against Zachary Horn, who comes from James Madison University. He's pitched twice against the Tom Sox this year, tossing 5 2/3, allowing 2 earned runs with 6 hits and 14 strikeouts. In his other games in the campaign, those being against the Generals, Cavaliers, and Turks, just 4 combined strikeouts. Against the Sox, though, 14 Ks on the season. Horn carrying a 6.3 ERA, 1 loss, no wins, 2 starts, 5 appearances. This now marking his 3rd start on the campaign. Horn, the big lefty from JMU. He'll go up against a lineup that starts with Dean Mijos, then it's Tommy Roldan, Robbie Levy, Kobe Wallace, Johnny Lopez, Jake Books, Ryan Wynn, Nick Parham, and Cale Strickland for Randy Tomlin's bunch. Horn's first offering to Mijos inside for ball number 1.
Mijos Dylan yesterday in that 4-run 6th inning started off the party with a big double and ended up scoring that first of 4.
Second pitch to Mijos, bunted down the third base side, giving it a chase, but throw going to go awry. Mijos going to turn. He is going to head towards second, and he is going to stop right there. Likely would have run it out with an infield single, but on the throw, Mijos will head to second, and just like that, the Sox will have a runner in scoring position here for Tommy Roldan. Set the defense for you real quick here. It's Campbell at first, Dickinson at second, Daltori at short, Lester at third, Carreras doing the catching, Wenrich in right, Prince in center, and Schmidley in left. And after the single and the throwing error, Mijos will head to second. He's in scoring position for Tommy Roldan with a brand new bright white helmet.
Made its debut yesterday on the road in Staunton, Dylan. Last night for Roldan, Mr. Clutch recently around these parts of towns, but a little quiet night yesterday. Went, I believe it was 0 for 4. Did get on base twice, though, via 2 walks. Did end up coming around to score a massive run for the Tom Sox, but now in the 2 spot today, unlike the 4 where he's been hitting recently.
First pitch to him called strike 1 on the outside part of the plate. Now the 0-1 breaks over the plate, but a little high for ball one.
I like that pitch by Horn, trying to challenge Roldan, knowing he's a dangerous hitter. Got that first pitch already on the outside corner, tried to get it twice.
Tommy Roldan, a .263 hitter, 17 runs accounted for, 15 hits, and 17 runs driven in. Best mark on the Sox. Second best mark is the next pitch to him outside for ball one. Cade Ballou, the best mark, but in terms of plate appearances, Roldan's mark counting for VBL statistics. For now, Ballou's won't be there, but I imagine he'll climb right back into that leaderboard very, very soon. After returning the other night, after some time off, Roldan digs in. The 2-1 will have to wait, as Horn will just play a little catch with Del Torre over there, who came to cover. Didn't even come close to the bag, but just let Mijos know he's there, keeping him content, at least for now. 2-1 incoming to Roldan. Sox in there. Green home jerseys with the blue sleeves, white pants. The 2-1 cuts the outside part of the plate. We'll go to 2-2 with no outs and the runner on second. For the Braves, it's the blue jerseys, white sleeves, white pants, white cap with a blue brim. Some red lettering as well, red outer part of the lettering as well. The 2-2 to Roldan. Doesn't hit the mark, just missing there for Horn. Count will go full.
Roldan 3-2. One of the most disciplined hitters here in this lineup, trying to find something that he could hit and try to move Mijos over.
Levy in the on-deck circle, as Matt mentioned. He homered yesterday. As the Sox looking to do what they've really done best and vault out to an early lead. The 3-2 doesn't land, so Roldan works a 6-pitch walk. He'll trot over to first, and hot and cold blares. You know what that means. Robbie Levy digging in.
And he is one of the definitions of hot and cold. I mean, hey, first game back since the lineup, struggled a little bit, and guess what? In the last 2 games, he's been getting on base, getting those walks, hit a massive home run yesterday into the center field trees, and, all around. How do you feel about that walk-up song, Dylan?
I like it. Not my favorite of the bunch, but it's a pretty strong one. I think it's better sung when Robbie Levy actually sings it. You can catch
I agree.
First iteration of Tom Sox Weekly a couple weeks ago. Gigi Jones getting him to sing that as first pitch to Levy, called strike one.
I just introduced him in this at-bat as the definition of hot and cold. He ain't cold. He's Mr. Hot.
Levy readies for the 0-1. Roldan on first. Mijos at second. No outs here in the bottom of the first. Tie ball game at 0-0. Levy watches it outside. So the ball evens the count at 1 apiece. No sizable lead here for Roldan or Mijos. Horn, the lengthy lefty, kicks the leg, fires, outside, going to prompt a throw over to second. Mijos just getting back in time, sliding, not fully, just kind of still a little upright. It was like a half slide, but just getting back in time. As nice play there from Carreras to get the throw down, but Mijos getting back.
I was about to say, Dylan, it was a smart play by him and Dalchuri. They were letting Mijos take that lead, not knowing he's behind him, and he's just rovering himself right there for that snap throw.
Roldan first, Mijos second, the 2-1 to Levy. Levy chopped over to second. Can they turn 2? They're going to need to try to even turn 1. They will do so, but Dickinson bobbles it, so you can't get the force at second. The runners will advance to second and third. Levy thrown out at first, and now both runners in scoring position here for Colby Wallace with just an out in the bottom of the frame.
And there's a big at-bat here for Wallace. 2 guys on trying to stay hot as he's been recently. Did have the night off yesterday. Trying to get back into this lineup and making sure everyone knows his name's going to be out there.
With 1 out, the pitch to Wallace, high, ball 1. So Colby Wallace, this will now be his 8th start, 9th game played, a .286 average, has come in and already made his presence felt in just about a little over a week here with the Sox. Wallace skied foul behind home plate over our press box. Wallace, .321 slugging percentage, a .429 on base percentage. He's driven in 5 runs. Still searching for that first long ball, first Colby Jack of the season, but for now he's used some really hard contact to spread really all parts of the ballpark and drive runs home. Big cut there. He was looking for that first Colby Jack on the inside pitch. 1-2 count now with an out and 2 on, both in scoring position for the Sox here in the bottom of the first.
It wouldn't be very cheesy if he got his first Colby Jack of the summer.
Pun intended, obviously, there, Matt.
100%. You know me.
The 1-2 with an out and runners in scoring position on second and third. Wallace skied, tracking just out of the infield, having to run quite a ways is Wenrich. Tagging is Mijos. Play at the plate. The ball bounces over the head of Carreras. Mijos will slide in safely. And with 2 outs now, the Sox have plated the first run of the game. They lead 1-0 here in the bottom of the first.
And smart play there by Dean Mijos there at the end. I don't know if hopefully our cameras picked that up. On that slide home with the catcher with both almost colliding, did not really originally touch home plate on his slide, so got back up and stepped on just to make sure, and home plate umpire did rule him safe after he did that.
So Roldan did not tag or move on the throw that just called a bad bounce, and otherwise he would have had the play there for sure. Horn was backing Carreras, so was able to get the throw over there. First pitch, Johnny Lopez outside, ball 1. So he'll have Roldan still in scoring position, standing at second, and Johnny Lopez has been on a tear as of recently. 333 on the season, 15 runs driven in, 3 long balls, the third of which coming last night, as Matt mentioned, in Staunton.
I still think it's in the air, Dylan. I still don't know if it landed.
The 1-0, Lopez skied high just into the outfield, but tracking is Del Torre for out number 3. Sox play a run on 1 hit, 1 error, and 1 man left on base. We head to the top of the second. Sox lead 1-0. Hang with us on Tom Sox TV. Top of the second here from CHS. Dylan Price, Matt Cabram welcoming you back in for all the action here on Tom Sox TV. Sox lead 1-0 as Dean Mijos singled, advanced on an error, and came around to score on a sac fly from Colby Wallace. Another run driven in for Wallace on the campaign. And the Sox lead 1-0 here, and Thomas Whalen will continue on in the start, looking to preserve it. He'll go up against Wyatt Campbell for the Braves.
And for Wallace Dillon, 6th RBI of the summer. And I did say earlier, I'll let you call this pitch.
Campbell skies it over the batting cages on the first base side for strike 1.
Originally, I said that Wallace had the day off in the lineup, but he did make a pitching appearance last night. Did get the last 3 outs of the game for the Tom Sox. And it started off with him walking 3 guys in a row, and then he struck out the next 3. So how about that, Colby Wallace?
Tail of a couple pitches there is another foul here from Campbell. Quite a way to bounce back, though.
100%. I mean, it just
definitely
fuels
to settle in.
Not only does it fuel you as the player, but also fuels your team around you, knowing that you can, and the coaches, that you can get put in those very tough situations and you can battle it, be battle tested and get through.
The 0-2 offering coming from Whalen to Campbell. Kicks the leg, fires, skied. It's foul. Levy giving it a chase. He's tracking it. It's going to go over the fence on the first base side and towards a couple of our Tom Sox who have off days today. Sam Mumau, Cade Ballou,
Ethan Gibson,
who was the closest actually to that foul ball, all over there. I want to thank Sam Mumau. You'll be able to catch it in 2 Tom Sox weekly episodes. He joined me today for our edition, or I guess attempt to parody Hot Ones, as the 0-2 from Whalen chopped down the third base side. Foul. Not really a lot of oomph behind it. But it was our attempt at doing a pseudo hot one, so I want to thank Ben Rakash for all his help as well putting that together. Sam and I trying a Buffalo Ranch wing, which wasn't really hot at all, a Golden Fire wing, which was but it was kind of sweet and zingy, as it says in the description, and then a Blazing wing that I think Sam Mumon might still be feeling the effects from. The 0-2 inside and drops down for ball 1, so getting the ball back here is Campbell. But everybody seemingly trying the Blazing Wings. Matt Cabram included, Ben Rakash, 2 members of our promo team, Molly and Kaylee, and a bunch of the players as well getting in on the action. And varying levels of struggle with it, but everybody agreeing it was pretty spicy. Low called ball 2, 2-2 count now.
Yeah, a little spicy, Dylan. Not the hottest wing I've had, but it's up there, I'd say.
So the 3 people I think it's clear to say that did the best with the wings. I would say both of us, not to toot our own horns, and Ethan Gibson, who I think was ready to eat the rest of the wings. He was unfazed. Checks wing. Did he go? They will say he did. So another strikeout here for Whalen. That's back-to-back, and that's the first out here in the top of the second.
I mean, I looked over to my right, Dylan, and Gibson just hounding these wings. I think me and him got to run our own special episode with even hotter sauces.
I think we do it at the end of the season again. I think we do the 3 people who did the best, and I think we bring Molly in as well because kudos to Molly for trying it. I think she's still feeling the effects, and that might be genuine.
Yeah.
First pitch here breaks over the heart of the plate against Garner, the designated hitter, for called strike 1. And I think we got to get Ben on camera doing it because this was Ben's baby, his brainchild that came to fruition today. The 0-1. Way outside for ball 1 out here in the top of the second. Sox lead 1-0.
Dylan, I do have a proposition for Ben. I think one of our next Tom Sock weeklies, I think me and a player on an off night should do a 9-9 challenge with the hot dogs. 9 innings, 9 hot dogs.
The 1-1 off-speed pitch right down the pipe for strike 2. 1-2, 1 out here, and Whalen trying to go for his 3rd straight strikeout. I think that's a great idea. I think you could crush it. We just we'll hypothesize a couple of the players who could do it. The 1-2 chopped over to third base. Lopez plays it off a tough hop throw to first. Levy tags the bag, and that is out number 2. Nice play there from Lopez. We've already seen some bad hops throughout the course of this season in the infield, but Lopez read that one like a book for out 2.
Yeah, that grass at the end of the infield there, crazy lip, and yesterday caught the most of Ethan Gibson and the shortstop of the Turks, so great play by Lopez to read it all the way through and able to fire it over to Levy at first to retire the batter.
So who do you want to do the challenge with? Is there somebody you want to throw the gauntlet down to? I think there's a guy you've got to do something with at some point. Your pseudo-rivalry as this chopped. Lopez tries to glove this one, can't play this one off the hop. It's going to drop down, and heading on over to first is A.J. Wenrich, who gets a bag here. So who are you going to lay the gauntlet down and challenge right now, as this is going to get ruled an E5 on Johnny?
If I do a 9-9 challenge, and it's a player that is probably going to need an off night, I like to do it with Brett Gassman. I feel like
That's what I was thinking.
He'd be up for the challenge.
9 dogs, 9 innings. Matt Cabram,
but also 9 questions.
Matt Cabram laying the gauntlet down to Brett.
I will ask him to do the challenge, and we'll see what he says. But if not, we'll try to get other players. It's going to, still a long summer, still going to be very fun. It's, very tough to ask a player if on an off night, hey, do you want to eat 9 hot dogs during the game?
It is a tough
It's a very tough one. For Lopez, that does go in the book as an E5. He did try to play it cleanly, but got the best of his glove.
First offering to Schmidley. Sky just into the outfield. Wynn will give it chase and come corral it in for out number 3. No runs, no hits, 1 error, and 1 man left on base. We head to the bottom of the second. Hang with us on Tom Sox TV. We rejoin you on post-Father's Day festivities, I guess we'll call it today, here at Charlottesville High School. Post-Father's Day bash, I'm being corrected. I want to thank Ben Rakash for that help there. We're back at Willie T. Barnett Field for the post-Father's Day bash. It's Dylan Price, Matt Cabram here for this one. First pitch outside for ball one to Jake Books from Coastal Carolina. Digging in here. Trying to add on to the Sox already 1-0 advantage. This time, almost same pitch, just a little bit better location for Horn. That's called strike one, so it's a 1-1 count with no outs here. So part of the post-Father's Day bash. Our own awesome PA man as Books skies this foul down the third base side. Jeff letting out a dad joke here during the break. And now, obviously, that's inspired Matt Cabram and I as he is looking up some of the best dad jokes he can pull out of his arsenal here. I'm sure we'll be hearing a couple in just a moment here as Books.
Right, I got a good one, Dylan.
Books sets readies for Horns 1-2, called strike three. Gets he out of the part of the plate, and now Ryan Wynn will set to dig in with one out here in the top or bottom of the second.
Hey, Dylan, what did the horse say after it tripped?
Nay.
Help, I've fallen, I can't giddy up. We have fun here. We love to have fun in this broadcast, in this booth, the entire press box.
First pitch to Win, skied foul down the first base side. All right, come on, you got to have more.
All right. No, this one's good. This one's good. This one's good.
Horns 0-1, high and inside, ball one. All right.
Why can't you hear a pterodactyl going to the bathroom?
Why?
Because its P is silent.
Goodness gracious, Matt. The 1-1 to win. Line, and it's going to nearly sneak through. What a play
by Dickinson over there.
Tim Dickinson dives down, reels it in, and tosses it over to Campbell for the second out. What a play. Thought that was going to rip into right for a base hit for Wynn and extend what has been a really nice run for him here. But he'll have to wait, and now Nick Parham digs in with two outs here in the bottom of the second.
Hey, Dylan, why do cows wear bells?
Parham lined into left, giving chase and corralling it in for out number 3 is Schmidley. No runs, no hits, no errors, and nobody left on base. Why do cows wear bells?
Because their horns don't work.
Goodness gracious. Stick and stay with us here on Tom Sox TV, likely for more bad dad jokes and a lot of fun here from Willie T. Barnett Field. Sox lead 1-0 heading into the bottom of the second. Hang with us. Dreams and nightmares blaring through Willie T. Barnett Field on a gorgeous Sunday night. Sunday night baseball between the Staunton Braves and the Charlottesville Tom Sox. Dylan Price, Matt Cabram, rejoining you here on Tom Sox TV. Thomas Whalen sets to go here with a 1-0 advantage. Sox lead here in the top of the third. First offering to Carreras outside, ball one. Whalen mentioned he's been averaging a little over 2 innings pitched per appearance. First start of the season for him, and thus far things have been good. 1 hit, 2 strikeouts, no runs. Skied, tracking into left field, giving chase his books, coming forward and reeling it in 4 out 1. And that's exactly why we're seeing Whalen work into the third frame here and seeing no movement in the Sox pen. It's been quick outs induced from contact.
And you just said it, Dylan. His longest start's only been 3 innings this year. That was back on June 1st in a 10-3 win over the Cavaliers, where he did only let 2 hits, 4 walks, 2 strikeouts, 0 runs. So he's been dealing recently, Whalen. And like I said, Tomlin said yesterday, there's a chance we were going to see him, but the way that the bullpen worked really good yesterday, so I also want to shout out Bobby Olson, Chase Stryker, and Colby Wallace to save some arms, and Whalen gets to start today on the bump.
Nate Prince, first pitch to the 9-hitter inside, ball 1. The 1-0 with an out to Prince is going to hit Prince right on the numbers, so Prince will head to first, and we'll head back to the top of the order as Jacob Lester will dig in with 1 on and 1 out.
Now, Lester, who wasn't in the lineup yesterday, at the top of this leadoff spot with his speed, trying to get on, move that runner over.
Brady Bogart trotting some fresh faces out and some fresh legs here for the Sunday night clash. Tomorrow, we'll take you through what's on the docket for tomorrow in just a moment here. First pitch, another one inside for ball 1 to Lester. So tomorrow is a special day. It's actually going to result in a day off from our regularly scheduled programming for the Sox, as a couple lucky Tom Sox will head to Liberty University in Lynchburg for the NACSB prospect games, as this is lined over to Wynn. Slowly, Wynn is just going to pick it up and throw it to Levy for the forced out at first and the second out. The runner and Prince advancing to second and in scoring position, but 2 outs now here for Tim Dickinson. So it's the NACSB prospects games. The Valley League will be there. The Southern Collegiate Baseball League will be there. The ACBL will be there. The Florida Collegiate League. The New York Collegiate League. Shout out to 2 New Yorkers on the broadcast right now. Hamptons League and Sunbelt League all will be in appearance, and the Sox will have some representation there. Coach Randy Tomlin and a litany of players as the first offering to Dickinson here in his second bat. Incoming. Low for ball 1. Cade Ballou, Colby Wallace, the position players, and Matt getting you the arms.
Yeah, because right now, for the Tom Sox, we got Colby Wallace, who'll be going to the VBL prospect game. We have Ethan Sutton. We have
Daniel
Cade
Powell.
Ballou, Daniel Powell.
And then Ryan Grayshack rounds out the bunch. Another pitch here. This one outside, for ball 2. 2-0, 2 outs. Coach Tomlin will be a part of the Valley League's coaching staff. All in all, a loaded event. Not too far from here, about an hour in distance, and was resulting in an off day for the Sox, as that's outside for ball 3. Monday, typically off day for the most part for the Tom Sox, and now a couple of them will make the trip tomorrow. Should be a good event. A lot of Major League Baseball scouts will be in attendance as well. Got their eye on a couple of future 2026 draft prospects as well that could be in the bunch. The 3-0 with 2 outs. Inside, ball 4. 4-pitch walk work by Dickinson, and now 2 runners on and 2 outs, teeing up Jake Del Torre, the very, very dangerous power hitter.
And for how the VBL prospect game works, Dylan, for the viewers back at home watching and listening, the NACSB, it's not just based on how the season goes right now in the Valley Baseball League, it's also how their collegiate leagues also went. So these players who got picked are 5 players scouted from their collegiate league, and then now here how they've been doing down in the Valley.
First pitch coming to Del Torre. Breaking ball over the heart of the plate for strike 1. So tomorrow, games on the docket. New York at Hamptons. Obviously, everybody at Liberty Christian Academy for some of these games. The others will be at Liberty Baseball Stadium. Valley will play against New York. So we'll see the Valley League up against some of the New York Collegiate League's best, and then Sunbelt against the Atlantic rounds out at 6 p.m. Valley, New York is at 2 p.m., and that is a cold strike on Del Torre. falling behind an 0-2 count now here. And then it's Hamptons at Sunbelt, 9 a.m. on Tuesday. Atlantic at Southern, 1 p.m. on Tuesday. And then a 5 p.m. first pitch for Florida and Valley on Tuesday as well. And then Southern and Florida rounded out with a 9 a.m.er on Wednesday. Skied foul down the first base side. There's going to be BP and on-the-field drills as well for all the players to perform in front of those scouts. Should be a great event as well. And if you want to make it out, I believe they are selling tickets on the NACSB website. Go check out some of the future stars of tomorrow. Headline not too far from here. Right now, it's the 0-2 count as Whalen tries to work out of his third frame. Skied down the third base side, way foul, over the pen, and now going to drop into the median there, right by the front of Charlottesville High School. And we'll rinse and repeat and go again with the 0-2 count with 2 outs and 2 on.
And speaking of the collegiate level, today, Tennessee has tied Texas A&M in the College World Series. It is 1-1, the rubber match for all the marbles tomorrow, 6 o'clock on ESPN.
Should be a good one, a fitting conclusion to what's been a great College World Series. The 0-2 with 2 outs outside. 4-1. So Del Torre staying alive. Tom Sox lead 1-0. Tying run at second base here in the top of the third. The 1-2. 2 outs incoming from Whalen with 2 on. Dickinson stands at first after the walk. Prince at second after being hit by a pitch. The 1-2 with 2 down. Chopped foul over the Braves dugout. And once again, actually heading towards the front of CHS. Feel like that's pretty much the primary spot every foul ball heads, other than head towards the train tracks behind us here.
Yeah, or, towards your car in the parking lot.
I think you've got something out for my car. Every time we're on air together, you're just saying, oh, I might head towards this car. Hey.
Just got to keep you on your toes.
You're going to be paying the AAA bill, too.
Hey.
Come to fix my windshield. The 1-2 with 2 outs. Jams him up. Soft contact. Whalen comes forward, lobs it to Levy, who nearly had to outstretch off the bag, but still reels it in for out number 3. Whalen some chuckles as he works out of a jam and tips a bit of a cap to Levy for the nice play there. No runs, no hits. No errors and 2 left on base. We head to the bottom of the third. Sox lead 1-0. Stick and stay on Tom Sox TV. Back at you on Tom Sox TV. Zachary Horn from James Madison. The Duke marches on in his outing, and the Tom Sox will look to pad their 1-0 advantage they carry here into the bottom of the third. Kale Strickland, Dean Mijos, and Tommy Roldan all due up. No less, maybe some more. As the first pitch to Strickland rakes inside, called strike 1. Strickland, who has really been on a nice run recently, skies this, foul down the first base side, giving chase as Campbell towards the fence. It's just going to bounce off the top of the fence and go out of play. So 0-2, no outs. For Strickland, he has blossomed his average up to a .308, which is one of the best marks on the team. He's appeared in almost every game, the most of the team, or second most of the team to Johnny Lopez, who has appeared in 18 as Strickland fouls that back. behind home plate. It actually goes in order: Lopez, Strickland, then Gibson. This will be the 17th for Strickland, which ties Gibson for second. Lopez, the most games played with it, now 19, as that's a called strike 3 on Strickland. And we'll head back to the top of the order. And Mijos, who singled in his first plate appearance for the Sox, lone hit of the game thus far, and advanced on an error and eventually came around to score. So Strickland, a 308 average, 17 games played now, 12 hits, 8 runs accounted for, and 9 runs driven in. Really strong numbers from Strickland, who also boasts a .526 on base percentage. 1 out. First pitch to Mijos, low for ball 1.
Mijos back at the top of the order, played down in the bottom end yesterday, but still a catalyst for some of those runs. I was just doing some work on Cale Strickland. He got out so quick, but Dylan, Cale Strickland has reached base safely in every game he started this year except for 2.
That's really impressive. Called strike 1 as that goes over the heart of the plate. Feels like he's always on base, always facilitating things at the bottom of the order. Kudos to Strick on what's been a really nice VBL campaign thus far. Mijos chops this down the third base line. It is fair. Mijos going to round first. He's heading over to second and can't make a play on it is Schmidley, but eventually going to get the cutoff man in Del Torre and keep Mijos at bay. So Mijos, a double here, teeing up Tommy Roldan, and now his second hit in 2 plate appearances thus far. Mijos continuing what has been a nice start to his VBL season.
Double in back-to-back games for Mijos, and now scored yesterday after hitting his. Let's see if Roldan try to bring him in here.
Tommy Roldan, who could be in contention, likely for some. If it was going to be, as the first pitch to him was outside for ball 1, I do think there could have been a really good campaign last week for Tommy Roldan for VBL Player of the Week. Do you think there's going to be a campaign for this week as well, after putting together another strong line?
I'd say so, Dylan.
The 1-0 to Roldan. Breaks outside, but still catching part of the plate for called strike 1.
We saw Horn in that first at-bat with Roldan try to challenge him with these outside pitches on that outside corner, but he did let that bat get away, and Roldan was on that first time via walk.
The 1-1 to Roldan. Big cut from Roldan. Went fishing for a strike 2. So now we'll go into a 1-2 hole with an out and the runner on second in Mijos.
Dylan, all of a sudden I just start smelling the air, and it smells like a Chipotle in our press box. I look over to our left, and our scoreboard operator and chief editor, Corbin, who's also our best first pitch saucer, is enjoying some Chipotle in the press box.
1-2, 1 out, 1 on in Mijos. Horn checks in on Mijos, kicks the leg, fires outside and low for ball 2. So taking a look at, it'll be, I'm doing the math in my head, so it'll be a week all in all today. It's this is the 6th game for Roldan. In that time, 5 hits, a home run, and 7 runs driven in. Outside, another ball here will make the count full with 1 out. Roldan worked a walk on a full count his first time up, now looking to do the same. And Roldan's on base percentage in that time as well, blossoming. He had, all in all, 4 walks in this week run. So Roldan could have some contention for Player of the Week. He's put together a nice day as well to do so, and as he works another walk, 2 in 2 plate appearances, and Roldan will now stand at first. Mijos at second, and here comes Robbie Levy.
As back-to-back full count walks issued to Roldan from Horn, so let him get away twice. And he's one of these guys you do not want up with guys in scoring position.
Levy set to dig in here. 4 home runs on the season. His 4th came last night. 14 runs driven in and a .390 batting average. First pitch to Levy outside, ball 1. Roldan on first after working the walk. Mijos, who doubled, stands at second. 1-0 Sox lead. Looking to build upon it. They've got 1 out, but 2 on here in the bottom of the 3rd. The 1-0 to Levy. High, ball 2. So Levy quickly jumping ahead in the count, 2-0. Up next would be Kobe Wallace, who has the 1 RBI of the contest thus far for both sides. For now, it's Robbie Levy, the catcher slash first baseman from George Washington. Levy readies for Horns offering. Big cut, won't connect. Strike one.
Levy had to start yesterday behind the plate for the first time since returning to the lineup. Now back over at first.
No movement in the Braves' pen. Horn has been really solid, allowing just that one run on 2 hits, and both those hits to Mijos thus far. The 2-1 to Levy. Cuts the outside part of the plate for strike 2. Count now even at 2 apiece with 2 on and 1 out. Sox lead 1-0 here in the bottom of the third. Trying to build upon it. Levy at the plate, trying to do so. Levy readies for the 2-2 from Horn. Lengthy lefty, winds, fires. Levy roped into left field, going back, popping the glove up and reeling it in is Schmidley. Mijos and Roldan will both retreat back to their respective bases, and now Wallace will try to spark some 2-out offense here with 2 on.
And he was able to do it last time, Dylan. He was actually the second out, but with that runner over there on second base, gotta already know that if anything gets through this infield, Mijos will be doing the mad dash to the plate.
Colby Wallace has driven in now 6 runs in this being just his 9th game, as there's a throw to Mijos. Tag applied from Dickinson, not in time, so Mijos will head back. And Mijos has, in just 3 innings, pretty much dirtied up every part of his uniform. Those white pants now basically brown on the front and brown all over the green part of that jersey. First offering to Wallace, skied into center field. Really won't have to take more than just a step or two. Prince reels it in for out number 3. No runs, 1 hit, no errors, and 2 left on base for the Sox. We head to the top of the 4th. Matt Cabral will take over on play-by-play when we get back. Hang with us as the Sox lead 1-0 heading into the 4th on Tom Sox TV. Top of the 4th incoming here. Braves trail 1-0. Thomas Whalen continues on in what's been an impressive start thus far. Here's Matt Cabral.
Thank you, Dylan. Thank you for steering the ship at first. Now I will happily take over. We got Wyatt Campbell stepping up to the plate. Campbell, probably one of the new guys here for the Braves. Just trying to do some research on him. Not that much showing up in the stats-wise. So we got the rising junior. 6'4", by the way. Pretty tall dude. And he's going to rope one into the gap, and that's going to be a base hit. So there's his ideally first hit of the summer for what it's looking like after just joining the team from Florida Southern College. And just like that, an early base runner for the Braves and just a 1-0 game.
Really strong contact there from Campbell. Swung on the first pitch he sees, sent it into left center, and Books had to go over there to corral it in, and it just kind of dropped down in front of him. I actually thought it was going to be Mijos, but instead it stays at just a single, but could have been more.
Now here's snap throw from Strickland. Tag applied by Levy, but that'll be not in time. He will get back in there safely. We got Brett Gardner back up here. And for Dylan, I mean, that sounds too close to Brett Gardner. I mean,
it does.
The 1-0. Whalen will look into Strickland. Whalen back out for his 4th inning of work, so if he retires and out soon, it will be the longest of his tenure this summer. It'll be a bunt laid down. Lopez will just charge on it over the first for the first out. Levy will check on to make sure there's no funny business with Campbell trying to streak over there to the third. So a 5-3 put out for the first out of the inning, and there it is. Thomas Whalen now pitching in the longest outing of his summer, but still a lot to go here. We got A.J. Wenrich coming up, the right fielder. Wenrich yesterday only had one hit in his 5 at-bats, struck out twice, was walked once. In his last other at-bat, he did fly out to the left. He was caught stealing yesterday, too, by Levy behind the plate. And the first pitch on the outside corner in there for a strike.
Really impressive start from Whalen. He's had control of his fastball for the most part, but it's really been his breaking ball that has been really impressive, and off-speed stuff has been kind of his bread and butter tonight, and what is, as you mentioned, his longest start of the season and really one of his most impressive outings point blank.
The pitch is just into the dirt. And yeah, for Whalen, as Dylan just mentioned, he has been using those breaking balls more than his fastball on the evening, with more comfortable with throwing those breaking pitches. We have no movement still in the bullpen for the Tom Sox. 0 in the Braves side of their bullpen as well. The 1-1. Whalen checks back at the runner. Sets to deliver to the plate. Inside, ball 2. Whalen tried to challenge him with that inner half fastball. He'll stare down back at Strickland. The righty gets set, and here's the pitch. The 2-1. It's going to be a ground ball. It's going to be through for a base hit, but the runner will be held at third. Quick throw in there by Books. So 2 singles now for the Braves. Runners in the corner with 1 out.
Now you got to run Wonder and almost on cue our bullpen catcher getting ready, and so we'll have some movement in the Sox pen as Coach Randy Tomlin signaled over as well. We'll see some movement as Thomas Whalen, this will likely be the final inning, probably was going to be regardless of his outing, but now with runners on the corners and just an out, could see his day coming to an end sooner. And I want to go back to that throw from Books. Really felt like if he had gone beyond there, look, he was going to hit his cut man and Lopez, and that would have been play
bang,
play
bang,
that they
yeah.
probably would have got, but wise move to stay at third.
Smart move by Campbell, and there goes the runner down. Strickland's going to try to get them. Now they're going to get him in a pickle here. Tom Sox need to make a decision. Take the out or give up the run. They're going to get the out and just give up the run. So the Braves will tie the game on the stolen base attempt by Wenrich. It'll be Wyatt Campbell coming in to score, and we have a tie ball game here in the 4th.
That was a tough play, and almost, honestly, having the pickle there was ideal. I don't know if that was designed for Wenrich to get caught in it. I probably assume not, but it was perfect because it kind of just allowed Campbell to make a decision and then stick to it and come home, and now run across the board, and Whalen still can work out of the frame, but really that's the equalizer and could come back to bite the Sox later.
Check swing there by Ike Schmidley. He did not go, so it's 1-1, and as Dylan just mentioned, it looked like it was almost a setup the way that Wenrich did stop before. And I also thought, too, for a second, Ryan Wynn, all he had to do was take 2 steps and tag him, but getting him in that pickle, that's going to be a ground ball. Lopez in the back end, stays with it. Throw over the first will be not in time into the dirt. So that will be going in the book as an E5. Tough play there, though, by Lopez, but Levy keeps it in front of him with the scoop. So another base runner to work around here with 2 outs. Let's bring back up Carreras to the plate. Ofrom with a fly out to left. Now with 2 outs on deck for them would be Prince, their center fielder. Whalen working with a runner behind him over there at first. Big lead over there by Schmidley. Does have 2 stolen bases on the summer in there for a strike first pitch. Schmidley anticipating that he probably will be getting the sign here shortly with that lead over there at first. Whalen, next pitch. Strickland tried to get a snap throw, but couldn't have a transfer out of the ball in his glove quickly. So it'll be 1-1. Schmidley's begging for Strickland or Whalen to go back and check on him over there at first because he looks like he's about to be going. Not going yet. 2-1 outside. The Curveball. 2-1 now.
It's Brett Gassman warming up in the pen for the Sox right now. Gassman tossed 2 frames on Thursday.
And the 2-1 runner does not go again, but it's on the outside corner. 4 strike 2 to Frankie Carreras. Carreras 4 hits this summer in 19 at-bats, hitting .211. Does have a double on the season, scored twice. But he's still looking for his first RBI of the summer. The starting catcher for Staunton. Here comes the 2-2. And Whalen delivers. Swung on and missed. Strike 3. So Thomas Whalen will get out of the small jam. Does give up a run. 1 hit, 1 run for the Braves. And it'll be a tie ball game heading to the bottom of the 4th. We'll be right back here on Tom Sox TV. Stick around. And we are back here on Tom Sox TV. The Braves just tied the game in the top half of the 4th. Still on the mound for them is Zach Horn, and due up for your Tom Sox, it will be Johnny Lopez, Jake Books, and Ryan Wynn in this tight 1-1 game compared to last night, 11-5, and by this time yesterday, we did have a lot of runs scored between both sides, but we'll see right now as our promotions team getting the dances out with the fans. Dylan Price to my left doing a little bit of a boogie. So, and now it's going to be Johnny Lopez, who we said it a few times already on this broadcast, hit a big 2-run home run into the trees and stand yesterday. I think it went over the trees from the way it went out. So Lopez against Horn, the lefty-on-lefty matchup to start the 4th. Horn from the windup, and the big lefty deals. First pitch is Lopez going to pop it straight up. And it's to be the third baseman, Lester, coming in, making the call, and he'll squeeze it away for the first pitch. 1 out. So 1 pitch, 1 out for Horn. Horn, most of his starts did end up in resulting losses for the Braves, so trying to get back on the positive side from him on the mound. It'll be Jake Book standing into the plate now. Another lefty-on-lefty matchup. First pitch is inside for ball 1.
So I'd say we've had some great crowds on hand this season. This is probably the biggest crowd we have had to this point.
I definitely agree, and we have the Greenbrier Neighborhood Community Association out in left field. A lot of people out with the tents. Big tailgating group that likes to come out and support the Sox, so just wanted to shout them out. And the next pitch is upstairs for a ball. 2-1 now. 2 Books.
Huge group out there, as you mentioned, enjoying some food and taking in all the game.
It'll be a comebacker right off of Horn's glove, and it will be not in time. Books will beat it out for an infield single after a deflection off of Horn's glove. Good try there, though, by Dalcherry to keep the play alive and extended, but not so fast because Books just booked it down the line the first.
Books running that out. It's going to get scored an infield single, and rightfully so. That was a tough play for Horn to try to make. Kind of just didn't even have a chance to react to it. It bounced right off of him.
And the way the reaction time worked, that if he doesn't, it just goes into center field for a clean single. And as Dylan just mentioned, usually we've had the crowd in the outfield, just in little sections in left and right and center. This one goes straight through, so we got a big crowd now out there in the outfield today. A lot of tents. Pickoff attempt over to Books at first is not even in time. He was in there standing up.
should be able to see him pretty clearly if you're watching on the video feed. If you're listening, well, we'll paint the picture for you. About 310s and a pretty sizable crew, as we've alluded to.
The next pitch from the lefty to Ryan Wynn is in there for a called strike on the outside corner. And for Dylan, I mean, shout out to the crowd coming here tonight because it was very humid today.
It was humid. It was hot. I believe it topped out at around 97 today, 99 yesterday. It's a scorcher.
Doesn't help us that we were also eating very hot wings earlier on this hot day. The 0-1. Be a ground ball win. This would be a double play ball. Flip over to second for 1, but they're going to say that Dalchuri missed a base originally, so they're only going to get 1. So they don't get win over at first. It'll be a fielder's choice 4-3, but shout out to the shortstop Dalchuri knowing that he did make a mistake and making sure he got 1 out instead of no outs.
So our first base coach today, I just noticed, is who else but my hot ones, pseudo hot ones, not hot ones. It was Spicy Bites. We went with the name, not to give anything away. But my hot ones partner, Sam Mumaw, the first base coach right now.
And look at him. He's got the hands on his hips. And you can kind of see on our broadcast, the camera does extend a little bit. Now he's got his hands on his helmet, trying to give some signs to Ryan Wynn over there at first. Very close friends, those two, the middle infield pair. The pickoff attempt 2 went over at first. Not nearly in time. Mumaw looks like a model out there when he has the hands on his hips. Here comes the first pitch. To Nick Parham is up and out for ball 1. Now we got over there at third base. Got Randy Tomlin with his arms crossed. So different vibes from our coaches tonight. Here comes the 1-0 to Parham. And there'll be another pickoff attempt. So Ryan Wynn making some noise over there, making Zach Horn think about him. Trying to get him off his game. With 2 outs, a 1-1 game, anything is needed to try to get runs for your team. Win with a big lead over there. The next pitch does catch that outside corner for the first strike of the at-bat.
1 for 2 on stolen base attempts on the season for Wynn. Best mark on the team, it's a perfect 9 for 9 from Ethan Gibson. Most attempts, Johnny Lopez, who's just behind Ethan with 7 stolen bases.
And that next pitch does catch that corner again. So now a 1-2 count. Horn trying to get out of the inning after giving up a single, and then was supposed to be a double play ball, ended up being the fielder's choice, so still a runner over at first, and Ryan Wynn with his speed. And the 1-2. Tried it again, 3 straight pitches, but that one is just outside. So Horn had the right idea. Just missed his mark just by a little bit. 2 balls, 2 strikes, 2 outs. Win over at first, number 2. That one is down into the dirt. Scooped up by Carreras, and now we got a full count. So Wynn will be going on the move, but with the way Horn's been tossing over there at first, let's see if he tries to bait him over there. Let's see if he'll throw over at first before he delivers. Here comes the full count. And the runner will go, and that one will be ball 4. So Parham works the walk. And there'll be 2 guys on for 2 outs for Cale Strickland coming back up.
For Parham, it's a .333 on base percentage. Although he's still looking to find his rhythm in the hit column, and it has been coming in the past few days. He's up to 4 hits on the young season for him. This being his 8th start of the season in his 8th game. On base percentage has really blossomed, and even yesterday as well, getting on base, and he's working walks, working counts, and putting together pretty strong at-bats. Almost a similar start to Ryan Wynn before Wynn is now batting .298. It's been very similar breakouts to both of them.
And I mentioned earlier on the broadcast that Cale Strickland now up to the plate. He's reached safely in just 2 games that he started this entire year. And when you go back to more of those numbers, Dylan, he's worked a walk in every game except for 3. So not only does this guy hit, he can also work along at-bats, get on base any way he can. So definitely here down at the bottom of the ship. Really good getting on. The 0-1 swung on a miss, strike 2. So an early 0-2 count to Strickland. We got Wynn on second. Over on first, Parham. 0-2, 2 outs, 2 guys on. And here comes the big pitch from 38. The lefty deals. Upstairs for ball 1.
Still no movement in the Braves' pen. This is Zachary Horn's show, and he's done a great job thus far. And believe it's still Gassman in the Sox pen, so he'll likely take the reins from Whalen here when we resume in the top of the fifth.
And here comes the 1-2, and that's going to be a bloop to near to center. On comes the center fielder with the sliding catch, and he's going to get it for the out. What a play over there by Prince in center field. Saves a few runs, saves a hit, and he keeps it a 1-1 ball game. We'll be back here on Tom Sox TV after the break. Stay tuned. Welcome back to Tom Sox TV. If you're just joining us here on a lovely evening at Willie T. Barnett Field, that's Charlottesville High School. Dylan Price and Matt Cabram. We got a 1-1 ball game here, very tight one between the Braves and the Tom Sox. And we got a new pitcher on the mound, number 44, Brett Gassman. This is Gassman's 5th appearance of the summer. A little high on the ERA side, just under 7. And that's first ground ball. Handled cleanly by Levy. Flipped over to Gassman for the first out, so a quick 3-1 put out there. But for Gassman, 2-1 win-loss record in those 4 games, 10 in the third innings pitched, 13 strikeouts, 3 walks. Higher side of the 11 hits, but still a long summer for Mr. Gassman, trying to work down that ERA, and he looks to do it right here against the Braves.
And so looking at Gassman's game log at this point, you know, had a little bit of tough sledding in what was a rough performance for everybody in terms of all pitchers and 20 runs scored between both sides. When the Turks and Tom Sox faced off on June 9th, he had 3 earned, but then bounced back with no earned in 3 innings pitched. And then the other time around, he had 3 innings pitched, no runs to bounce back from, or to start everything off in the outing. So I'm going to just go out here and say, to bounce back after a little bit of a rough outing on Thursday, prediction, 3 innings pitched, no runs. Because that seems to be his rhyme or reason every other outing.
And that's a good mindset to have too, Dylan. And for Gassman, in that 10-6 loss against the Generals back on the 20th 3 nights ago, his line does not determine how he pitched that night. He pitched so much better than what the final line said. So Gassman just trying to get back as fly ball in the right, roll Dan under it, 2 outs. So 4 pitches for Gassman and 2 outs. So working very quick here tonight.
Pretty good ratio, I'd say.
It's going to be back at the top of the order for Dickinson, my apologies. That was Lester who just flew out from the top.
Dickinson single and a walk thus far. Has not gotten further than first base yet either.
Was caught stealing by Strickland in that first inning as well. So it's 2 games in a row that Braves have been gunned down by the catchers of the Tom Sox. Yesterday was Levy, and that was to Wenrich. And then today we got Strickland nabbing Dickinson. The 1-0. Gassman with the gas. That one came in really fast on the outside half. 2-0. Doesn't like the ball. Wants to get another one. Gassman, the rising senior from Charleston Southern University, by way of Little Rock, Arkansas. The only Arkansanian, I guess that's how they say there, Arkansanian. Well, I'll ask Brett how they say that after, so I don't sound a little bit of a stupid person on this broadcast, but, you know, the only player here from Arkansas on this roster, the 3-0. Right down the middle, but that's not agreed by the home plate umpire. I said it got too low, so Dickinson back on base for the 3rd time tonight, Dylan.
Dickinson doing a really good job getting on the base pass and trying to facilitate something mentioned. He was caught stealing and then left on the base pass in the 3rd. So tied at 1 apiece. This has been a really neck and neck battle thus far. Get a base runner on. He represents the go-ahead run. So Gassman going to try to keep him at bay and keep his streak of not getting past first intact.
First pitch fouled off in a way. It was heading towards our booth, but we do have a fence in front of us and a window, so can't make a play on that one. There's Ethan Gibson, who just makes an appearance getting that foul ball. Not in the lineup today. I'd like to shout out Mike Bolger, one of our media members who's delivering food for the booth today. So shout out to Mike. I know you're not on the broadcast tonight, but we're missing you.
Sir.
Was a big promo guy. And if hopefully he's still listening, shout out to George Armangola, who's one of our photography guys. Not here today on the little family reunion trip.
Out in Killington, Vermont, I believe. Beautiful, beautiful area.
Here comes the 0-1 to Dalturi. Tried to get that outside corner, but just sailed a little too much out. So it'll be 1-1. Dalturi with great speed over here in their 3-hole. Dickinson as well has been their leadoff hitter a few times, staying in the 2 spot. Dalturi with a drive in the air to left. Back his books, and he'll make the catch at the warning track to retire the side. 4 batters, 3 quick outs for Gassman, and a good first inning back from his last start, or last outing, but still 1-1 here, going into the bottom half of the 5th. We'll be right back here on Tom Sox TV. And we're back here for the bottom half of the 5th. 1-1 between the Braves and your Tom Sox. First pitch to Dean Mijos is popped up. Be the 3rd baseman Lester calling it again. So another 1 pitch, 1 out for Horn, and for Horn already surpassed his longest outing of the summer. He's only gone 3 innings twice. back here against the Tom Sox in a 4-1 loss, and then the 9-7 win against the Turks for the Braves. So into the 5th, already surpassing as long as he's gone this summer, and another induced pop-up to his infielders. And twice that Lester has told him to get out of the way. I know Horn wants to make those plays, but usually one of your 4 infielders will back your pitcher off, unless it's right to you, of course. And that first pitch just outside for ball 1 to Roldan. Lefty and lefty matchup, Horn and the pitch. That one's across the plate for a strike.
So I was going back through my book this morning, and I realized that the first time you and I were on the broadcast this summer, we're about to hit the halfway mark, was actually the Braves and Tom Sox as well, and Zach Horn pitched in that contest in relief.
So Horn can't stay away from us. He likes to pitch when we're on the call.
And he's doing a great job, and I believe he did a great job then as well. He came in more as a middle reliever, but tossed a really solid outing, and now spinning a good one here thus far again.
As Dylan just alluded to, that one's inside the Roldan, so it'll be 3-1, but back on that June 6th game where the Braves came here for the first time, it was a 10-0 win for the Tom Sox, but 2 2/3 inning pitch, 1 run, 2 hits, and 8 strikeouts he had that night, so Warren's been comfortable here, but that one's going to be called for a strike on the outside corner. Roldan to not agree, kind of showed up the home plate umpire by flipping his bat, but Roldan for the 3rd at-bat of his night, another full count with him and Horn.
Solid bat flip there from Roland. I'd give it a 6 out of 10. You do lose some style points because now he's got to dig back in.
And here comes the full count. The lefty with the windup. And he comes to the plate, and he'll get him swinging in the dirt for a strikeout. There'll be 2 quick outs here for Horn with Robbie Levy coming up.
First baseman number 30, Robbie Levy.
Levy 0 for 2 tonight. Ground ball to second, fly out to left. So he'll try to get a 2-out party started here for the Tom Sox. And so far, as me and Dylan talked about earlier in the broadcast, kind of a bit of a quiet start here for the Tom Sox lineup. Only 1 run. Usually they have an early start or an early explosion, but so far Horns keep them in check. That's ball 1 to Levy.
Action in the pen for the Braves, so this probably would be the end of his outing, but Horn has pitched a really, really strong 4 2/3 thus far.
Levy's going to pop one over. Looks like it's going foul, and it will into the parking lot of CHS. Be 1-1 to Levy. As DJ press play, Ben Rakash playing some good tunes for the crowds tonight. Kind of gotten me and Dylan out of our seats. Be 1-1 to Levy. Horn gets his sign, and he deals. Levy in the air to left. It's going to be a tough play for Schmidley on the run over there, but he'll make the catch in foul territory near the bullpen. And we still have a 1-1 game. We're going into the 6th here at CHS. We'll be right back here on Tom Sox TV after the break. And we're back here on Tom Sox TV. Mac Abram, Dylan Price, who took a quick step out of the press box. I'll be soloing it just for a few minutes. Brett Gassman's back to the mound for his second inning of work. He's got Campbell here to start off, and Campbell, first time up, struck out, and the last time with a single to left. And we have David Argo joining me to the left on the broadcast. What's up, David? How we doing today?
Not too bad. Going to take Dylan's spot for a couple minutes while he does his duties.
And the 1-0 is in for a strike to Campbell. When was the last time you tossed on one of these headsets, David?
It's about a year ago against the Braves, actually. So, nice little fun walk-off win for the Tom Sox, if I don't recall. So, nice to be back here for a little bit.
Were you there with Alex Rocco or Nate Schwartz?
It's a good question. Can't remember.
The 1-2 pitch is fouled off by Campbell, so we'll do it again here.
Might have been the man of the hour today, Jacob Tisdale, who was with me for that broadcast.
Shout out to Jacob Tisdale, who did perform a great national anthem. You had to be here in the park to hear it. And now here comes the 1-2 from Gassman. Swung on a miss, strike 3. So quick strikeout there for Gassman. And he's retired 4 of his first 5 batters.
Good breaking pitch, and Gassman starting the out and off well with another strikeout.
Now up to the plate will be Brett Garner. Garner today 0 for 2. 2 groundouts to Johnny Lopez over there at third for the 5-3 putouts. And the first pitch from the big lefty. Outside for ball 1. The lefty gets his sign from Strickland, and he'll deal. That one's up and out for ball 2.
And here's Dylan Price.
Thank you, David. My apologies, it is 1-1. And here's the pitch to Gassman. That one's going to miss the corner, so it'll be a 2-1 count.
I've seen some sights in the... He potted my mic down. I've seen some sights in this press box thus far, but that was a little bit surprising to see David Argo with the headset on when I walked back in here.
Not only did he hop on the headset, he broke down the strikeout for Gassman, so he filled his color duty for the at-bat, and now we have a 2-2 count. Gassman trying to get another strikeout and retire his 5 of 6. The 2-2. That's going to be popped up. Levy. So call for it. Nope. It's going to be Parham, who switched sides with Ryan Wynn. Parham now at second. Wynn over at short. So a little good old swapperoo in the middle corners. And another quick 2 outs for Gassman.
Yeah, I believe it happened at the top of this frame, but Parham and Wynn, I believe, splitting right down the middle of the second and shortstop duties. Pretty much both of their primary positions in the middle infield.
This is going to be a ground ball to Lopez, and that's going to retire the side. So a quick 1-2-3 for Gassman. Gets a strikeout, gets some induced plays for his fielders to work. We still have a 1-1 game going into the bottom half of the 6th. Sox will be back here on Tom Sox TV. Stick around for the break. And we're back here on Tom Sox TV for my final half inning of play-by-play Macabra. I'm joined alongside Dylan Price. If you are just tuning into the broadcast, we have a 1-1 game, and we got a pitching change for the Braves. It's going to be number 23, Trey Jackson, the rising junior from Valdosta State University. This is one of his first few appearances for the team this summer. And for those college stats, had a 7.94 ERA in 13 appearances, 11 in the third innings pitched, 11 hits, 13 runs. 10 of those were earned. It's going to be a fly ball near the right, but it looks like it's just going to creep foul into the bushes. 7 strikeouts and 11 walks for Jackson with his collegiate numbers. And he's got a tough part of the lineup right now. He's got Colby Wallace, Johnny Lopez, and Jake Books. The 0-1 to Wallace. He up and at upstairs for ball 1. Be a 1-1 count.
Line now closed on Zach Horn in a really strong start. Spun 4 frames, 1 run allowed on 3 hits, 3 strikeouts, and 2 walks. Another really impressive outing from Horn, who's put together a really nice season in this VBL play.
5 innings pitched for his longest outing of the summer. And that one's going to be the breaking pitch on the plate for strike 2. As Dylan just mentioned, Horn has just been so clean this summer, and that's been his cleanest outing for his summer stats here in the VBL.
Yes, 5 frames for Horn, which is really, really good.
Here comes the 1-2 to Wallace. That's going to be ball 2, just up. For Wallace, had the sacrifice fly to center, scoring the first run of the ball game. It was Mijos who came in to score on that. And he flew out again to the center fielder back in the third. So 2 fly outs to center field, 1 getting that RBI in this 1-1 game. The 2-2. Outside, ball 3. Now another full count here to a Tom Sox batter. 3 of them went to Tommy Roll Dan in his 3 at-bats. Wallace trying to get on any way he can. Here comes the full count pitch. Jackson deals. He fouled off. We're going to get our sponsorship reading from Jeff Harrington, our PA announcer tonight.
Go Cho. If you're looking to travel, gocho.com.
Gocho.com, baby. So Jackson sets to get the full count again to Wallace. And the righty deals. Swung on a miss, strike 3. Jackson coming into the ballgame, facing a tough part of the lineup, gets Wallace to bite on the full count pitch for his first out of the night and his first strikeout.
And that was a really nice pitch. I mean, he gave him everything he had with that high fastball. Wallace bit, and I mean, that was as about textbook as you could go with a third strike.
Johnny Lopez coming up. Walks up to Southwest by Gunna. And the way that ball was hit last night by Lopez, pretty sure that ball went from south to west. And that first pitch to him is in there for a ball, 1-0.
He put it on Southwest Airlines.
Probably did. He took a trip. And that ball's, Dylan, like I said 3 times already in this broadcast, still in the air. It might hit us right now. That one's going to be swung on a miss for strike 1, 1-1 count to number 9. Lopez just having a great year here for the Tom Sox. Great summer so far.
You caught up with Johnny. It'll be in this week's Tom Sox Weekly.
This will be a great episode. Outside for ball 2. Lopez hitting that 333 mark right now. 21 hits in his 63 at-bats. Scored 18 times so far for the team. He's got 3 doubles, 3 home runs, 15 RBIs. Can also work those walks. He's got 12 on the year. But now he's facing Trey Jackson on a 2-1 pitch. Swung on and missed into the dirt. So now Jackson ties him up, and it'll be 2-2.
Trey got really good movement on that pitch. It just kind of snuck underneath Johnny's bat. I'd say it's the opposite of Johnny swinging over top of it. And that's another really nice pitch from Jackson, who's doing pretty solid here against, as you mentioned, the heart of the order. It's 4-5-6.
Heart of the order, that is right, but now with the 2-2. Jackson. That's going to be into the dirt. Ball 3. blocked by Carreras, but no one on base. So now another full count, back-to-back for Jackson since coming out of the pen. Trying to work around a hot and very fast hitter, or speedy hitter, I should say, Lopez. Now here's Jackson. 3-2, full count. Fouled off, and that one's headed into the parking lot.
That one was actually tracking towards my car. I parked a little closer today than I normally do. Luckily, there's a litany of other cars there before mine, so hopefully...
Knock on wood,
Hopefully
Dylan.
it didn't hit anybody's, but if it did hit a car, hopefully it wasn't mine.
So we'll do the full count again. Jackson to Lopez. Here it comes. Upstairs for ball 4. So Lopez on base for the first time today. Earns a walk. And that sets it up for Jake Books, who had a single his last time up. 1 for 2 on the night. And right now in this contested 1-1 game, Dylan, every base runner is important for both sides.
It is, and this is the go-ahead run in Lopez represented here, and we're in the bottom of the 6th. It's been a pitcher's duel thus far. Horn, Whalen, Gassman, and now Jackson have really put together strong outings, but something's got to give one way or another.
See if Lopez, who's Dylan mentioned earlier in the broadcast, second in the team with 7 steals on the year. He's 7 for 10 this summer, as already Jackson was thinking about him, looking over him there at first. Lopez with a smaller lead right now. We'll try to build it up. Here comes the first pitch to Books. That one's going to be in there for a strike. Right down the pike. Books. Just another one of these lefties in this lineup. You can never have too many lefties, but the Tom Sox, it's majority of this lineup tonight. And a little pickoff attempt again. Lopez making him think about him. Gets back a little bit dirtier. Lopez also wears one of those running guards. Here comes the 0-1. Lopez goes, and Brooks on the hit and run attempt is going to be in there for a base hit. Lopez will easily go first to third. Little bobble by the right fielder, Wenrich. But Lopez is held at third by Randy Tomlin. So a perfect executed hit and run there from Lopez and Books.
A great night continues for the Coastal Carolina boys. 4 hits for the Tom Sox, all accredited to the Chanticleers. 2 singles for Books, a single and a double for Mijos at the top of the lineup, and right now a really sitting pretty position for the Sox with just that out. If Wynn can drive home a few, this would really set them up nicely heading into the back 3.
Now Wynn, who's been one of the best hitters recently in this lineup, gets a chance with an RBI opportunity. Did not have a hit yesterday in the 11-5 win over the Braves in his 5 at-bats, so his 8-game hitting streak did sadly come to an end yesterday, as Dylan did just wipe away a few tears as I said that, because Wynn has just been a fun treat to watch this summer.
Caught up with Ryan after the game on Friday, and he was talking to me about kind of what's gone into this hitting streak, and it's really been, he said, getting the swings he wants to really swing on out of himself, and then getting the pitches he wants to hit. It's just simple arithmetic. I mean, he said he's putting good swings on good pitches, and that's really been it. He's picking and choosing where he wants to attack, when he wants to lay off, and he said it's kind of the culmination of everything he's really worked on coming back to the end of Wofford's season as well, coming together, and that 8-game hit streak has kind of punctuated that.
The 1-1 to the Wofford hitter did square bunt, but pulled away. Will be ball 2. Lopez was tricking down the line over there at third, but was protected there by Lester, the third baseman, to see what would happen on that bunt attempt. Going to be a 2-1. We got Lopez over on third, Books over at first. And here comes the 2-1. Swing and a miss. A hard cut there by Wynn. Almost looked like he was swinging for the fences there. He's just trying to bring home Lopez any way he can. But now we got a 2-2 count. Jackson gets his sign from Carreras. He is set. And here's the pitch. Outside, ball 3, so another full count. It's the third time so far in his short appearance tonight for Jackson. So that pitch count is rising early.
And Brady Bogart going to signal and start ramping up somebody in the pen. We'll get you a number on that in just a moment.
Runner's going to go and win. And as we play at the plate, they're going to tag out Lopez at the plate. So it'll be a 3-2 put out there, getting Lopez to bite on that chopper. Books safely over there at second on the fielder's choice. And for Wynn, he's over there at first. And that's a tough one there if you're the Tom Sox, Dylan.
It's tough. That would have been the go-ahead run here in the bottom of the sixth. But, I mean, kudos. That was a great play, heads-up play. And, I mean, both of the, I'd say now the game-saving, albeit still early here in the bottom of the sixth, and the game-tying plays thus far have just been heads-up, high IQ plays from the Braves right there. Didn't even think twice. First baseman and Campbell just tossed it right to home. And then to score their one run, it was a pseudo pickoff attempt that was started by Campbell that allowed the runner to cross the plate in a kind of double steal, but obviously it wasn't a true double steal because, well, on the second base side of things, there was the out.
First pitch to Parham was a strike. So Jackson will do it here with the 0-1 count. Next pitch. Fouled off and away, and now a batter ago, Jackson was in a little bit of a runners in the corner jam, and now he's 0-2 here with no one on third. Books over at second. Win over there at first with a massive lead, so any contact, you'd be sure that he's going to be heading over to third, probably scoring if I can get into a gap. And here's the 0-2. It's on the hands of Parham. That one is inside. And now Books is going to take third on that drop. And just like that, Tom Sox have the go-ahead runner again 90 feet away.
RM wants this at-bat. I mean, you want every at-bat you're at the plate, but this is one that would come at a right time with Parham really finding a swing in these past few games and with runners on the corners here. He's playing it wise there, taking that pitch that was close but inside. And now I'd imagine that if it's close, Parham swinging, and it's going to be a big cut here.
And now with Books taking third, with one stolen base on the season with Ryan Winspeed, we'll see if he'll get a nod soon to try to snag second. 1-2, 2 outs, 2 guys on for the Tom Sox. Number 3 up at the plate, facing number 23 for the Braves. Jackson trying to get what he likes, and he pickoff attempt to Win. So Win making some buzz over there. Now he's going to drop the ball at the mound. Thank God he wasn't set, Dylan, because that's the worst way for the pitcher in the game to give up an easy run. But now at the 1-2, he'll set. And he'll deliver. Parham in the air to left field. Under it is Schmidley. And he's going to drop it. It's going to drop. Books is in. Here comes Win. And just like that, your Tom Sox have a 3-1 lead. Oh, Mike Schmidley with a big error out there in left. And just like that, it's a 2-run lead for your Tom Sox.
And that's why you never put your scorebook in inks, folks. It is not over till it's over, and the playbook will be a little, the scorebook will be a little muddled with some error or alterations here after that error as I try to catch back up. But what a costly mistake there from Schmidley. And now when you thought you had him on the ropes, just about to get out of the inning, Parham stands on second, and both runs cross the plate. So, wow, just a really, really quick turn of events. Thought you'd probably be out of that sixth and scot-free, and now this is a 2-run deficit.
Ryan Wynn just kept on chugging, and once Randy Tomlin told him that ball dropped, he was in easily all the way from first. So he did the mad dash from first all the way to home. Beat Cale Strickland up on the 1-0 count, and for Dylan, I mean, Ike Schmidley's need to take the quick first lesson as the outfielder. You got to go 2 hands on that one, and he'll be shaking his head on that one, but the 1-0 pitch is upstairs to Cale Strickland, 2-0.
Now Parham also standing on second and in a spot here where, I mean, you could drive one more home with one of the best hitters right now in the Sox lineup and Strickland at the bottom of the order.
The 2-0 pitch. Strickland's going to take that one for a strike.
Approach can't change here whatsoever if you're Trey Jackson because clearly you induced enough soft contact there to try to get the third out. You can't let that 2 runs that are going to go down as unearned get to you. You just need to dial back in, get the final out here in Strick, and send it back to the bats.
Here comes the 2-1. That's on the outside corner, and now it's 2-2 to Strickland. We've seen it all this inning. We've seen a strikeout, a walk, a hit, a fielder's choice, and now an error scored and run. So if you don't think this 6th inning had it all, it has. Jackson gets his sign. And the 2-2 pitch. Outside ball 3. Parham took some steps over there, but Wiley goes back to second. And that will be another full count here for Jackson. And Carreras is going to call timeout and go talk to him.
And now maybe the biggest pitch. It was, I mean, obviously a couple pitches ago when that was skied into left, but this is probably the biggest pitch of Jackson's outing. Is there's still movement in the Braves' pen, and this could likely be the end of Jackson's outing one way or another. Just the end of this inning pitched in the pen for the Braves, warming right now. I believe it's Brecken Nace or Evan McDade.
We've seen Brecken Nace twice this year against the Tom Sox.
So it's Evan McDade. It's a righty. There's a 3-2 and a 3-3. Evan McDade warming. This will be his outing. Once Jackson concludes, he's going to try to do it here.
Another full count pitch. Here it comes from Jackson. The 3-2. It's going to be skied in the air. Who's going to call this one? It's going to be Lester again. The third baseman takes charge and he'll retire to side, but Tom Sox get 2 runs off 1 hit, an error, and maybe 1 man left on base. But 3-1, your Tom Sox lead it. We're going to take a break here, and we're heading to the top of the 7th. Dylan Price will take the steer of the ship again, and finish it the rest of the night here on Play by Play. This is Mac Brom. I'm signing back off.
Back at you on Tom Sox TV. Dylan Price, Matt Cabram. As we march into the top of the 7th, 3 frames to go to decide it. And the Tom Sox, well, they lead 3-1 after an E7 saw both Ryan Wynn and Jake Books cross the plate to give the Tom Sox this newfound advantage. Brett Gassman continues on in his outing, has looked sharp thus far. First pitch inside, ball 1. Second pitch, almost same location. This time hits the mark there to Schmidley for strike 1. It was Schmidley out there in left who, as you mentioned, I even wrote it legitimately in ink on my scorebook, F7, but the ball dropped down. And now Braves, as that's called, strike 2, have themselves a 2-run deficit. But a lot of ball game left. Brett Gassman going to try to keep the Braves at bay. Inside pitch, drop down low for ball 2. 2-2, no outs, none on. Sox lead by 2. The 2-2, cut on and miss, strike 3. Gassman fans another, and that's the first out here in the top of the 7th.
Gassman has looked so dialed since he's been in here, Dylan. Gets his second strikeout of the night. He made quick work back in that 6th inning, going 1-2-3, and he'll try to continue the party here with Carreras coming back up to the plate.
It's a fly out to left and a strikeout for the catcher in 2 plate appearances thus far. He's done a really good job on the defensive side of things, framing. And movement in the Sox pen. It's Marco Lavari, first pitch here outside for ball 1 against Carreras. Fouled back off the metal pole right behind home plate. So we mentioned with Gassman, I'm going to knock on wood for him here, that it's every other outing, 3 scoreless. Right now he's on pace for it, and with Lavari warming, this is likely the final frame for Gassman. The 1-1 inside of ball 2. The other night, Gassman, as we mentioned, really strong 2 innings. That story not told by the line. And now picking up kind of where he left off on the strong side of things with a good performance thus far. 2-1, once again inside pitch, this time called strike 2. And now Gassman evens things up at 2 apiece. In the on-deck circle, it's Nate Prince, bottom of the order for the Braves. The 2-2 from Gassman. Went fishing, didn't catch anything. Strike 3. Back-to-back Ks for the Little Rock native.
And Brett Gassman's been loving that inside pitch to the righty batters, Dylan. He threw 4 in a row to get it to that 2-2 count. That was against Carreras, and then he gets him on that breaking ball. Just a great pitch selection there, just to fool the batter. It's his 3rd strikeout of the night, too.
Gassman wheeling, Gassman dealing right now. To the bottom of the order, first pitch to Prince outside and low, ball 1. So you mentioned that ERA had kind of gone up a little bit, just below 7. It's going to drop back down a little bit more after this outing, if all holds as that one inside just misses the jersey of Prince for ball 2. Movement in McDade continuing in the pen for the Braves, likely the end of the outing, as that one going to plunk Prince. Second time tonight he's been hit. He's going to head over to first, almost the exact same spot he was hit first time around. But that'll likely end the outing of Trey Jackson, with McDade set to come in. Another performance outside of the 2 unearned runs there that has just kind of punctuated what's been a really strong night for every pitcher. And that strong night includes Brett Gassman's performance. Line not closed, but Marco Lavari will come in. Gassman fans 3 in 2 2/3 of work. Really nice outing from Gassman. We'll give Marco Lavari some time to warm up. Hang with us on Tom Sox TV. The Tom Sox strikeout leader, Marco Lavari, has entered in relief of Brett Gassman. 17 strikeouts, 1.54 ERA. For Lavari, it's his 6th appearance of the season. He's spun 11 2/3 up to this point. He'll inherit 1 runner from Gassman as the first offering to the top of the order for the Braves. And Jacob Lester's cut on and missed. Strike 1. Lavari will work with the runner on first out of the stretch. The 0-1 to Lester. Skied, foul, and now this is heading towards the first base side. Levy tracks it. Levy going to lose it. A bit of the netting over there was kind of in his way, a bit of a hindrance. So, regardless, it's an 0-2 count now. Lavari trying to work out of the frame and secure what was a strong outing from Gassman's line. Make sure it's closed and send it to the Tom Sox bats. They lead 3-1 as we're in the top of the 7th. Lavari, the Old Dominion Monarch, kicks the leg, fires the 0-2, sails high for ball one. I think he wanted a high fastball there, and it was just a little too high, so he doesn't get Lester to bite. Lester from Trevecca Nazarene University from Murfreesboro, Tennessee. The 1-2, tipped. Will rinse and repeat and go again.
Just off the block by Strickland. Couldn't contain it for the strikeout officially, so we'll get to do it again on the 1-2.
Levy on first, chatting with Prince. Prince, the runner at first. Lavari looks to him. Readies. The 1-2 to Lester with 2 down. Lavari winds, fires. Strickland going to get a throw off as that was a ball low. And Strickland threw it in, and the stolen base will be accredited to Prince. Prince nabbing that one. The throw actually pulled Barham, who's now switched over to second for a win. Pulled him off. Kind of fell backwards on the bag. It was just a bit of an awkward play. But now the runner in scoring position. Tying run at the plate. Lavari trying to work out of the frame. 2-2. 2 down. Runner on second for the Braves, who trail by 2. Lavari stares down Prince. Kicks the leg. The 2-2 to Lester. Called strike 3. Marco Lavari comes in and on cleanup duty works out of the inning. No runs, no hits, no errors, and all outs came by way of strikeout. Lavari, Gassman combine for a 0, and the Sox will take their 3-1 lead into the bottom of the 7th. It's the 7th inning stretch. Get up, stretch at home, but stick with us on Tom Sox TV. From Fairmont State, by way of Crowley, West Virginia, Evan McDade, the righty, is in to pitch for the Braves. He'll face the top of the order. It'll be Dean Mijos, Tommy Roldan, and Robbie Levy. McDade, a .71 ERA in 7 appearances, 12 2/3 pitched, 7 strikeouts, and a 1-0 record. Last pitched a couple days ago on Friday against the Generals. He tossed an inning and 2/3 scoreless with a strikeout. First pitch to Mijos, called strike 1. So McDade comes in for Jackson. Jackson's line closes with no earned runs, 2 runs accredited to him though. 1 inning pitched, 1 hit, 1 walk, and 1 strikeout. Jackson coming in and for the most part, doing a really solid job there outside of the E7. And on the other side of things is the 0-1 here to Mijos is cut on and it missed, so the count will go to 0-2. On the other side of things, Brett Gassman's line also closed for the Tom Sox. 2 2/3 pitch, no runs, no hits, 1 walk, and 3 strikeouts. Really, really strong outing from Gassman to take the ball from Thomas Whalen, who allowed just a run with 3 strikeouts in his own right in 3 pitched. Really strong outings across the board tonight. Now the Braves trying to keep the Sox at bay and keep them within striking distance. Called ball high. 1-2 now here to Dean Mijos. Mijos has 2 of a few Tom Sox hits. All in all, it's 2 of 4. All the hits tonight for the Tom Sox coming by way of the Chanticleers in Books and Mijos. They'd make a great law firm, but they make even better position players for this Tom Sox team. The 1-2, foul down the first base side, sky high towards the cage, and bounces off of it. So we'll go again at a 1-2 count with no outs as Mijos digs in against McDade. McDade, 6'3". A lot of length on this Braves team, to say the least. He took the ball from Horn and Jackson, who are both over 6 foot. Horn, 6'4", the starter. The 1-2 from McDade. Kicks the leg, fires Mijos, skies foul, almost the exact same spot again as Tommy Roldan waits in the on-deck circle. Sox looking for a little bit more insurance, trying to pad on to that 3-1 advantage. On the other side of things, it's Marco Lavari's outing, and presume with 6 outs to go, he will take it for at least the 8th, maybe the 9th. The 1-2, incoming from McDade to Mijos. Just misses for ball 2. Really want to shout out Carreras and the framing job he's done tonight. I mentioned it when he was at bat in the top half of the frame, but just keeping every pitch close, making it hard for the ump. The 2-2 incoming to Mijos from McDade. Skied. Not going to get it out of the infield here. Oh, no, it will. It's just dropping back and corralling it in, outstretching his arm was Dickinson. It looked like it was barely going to get out of the infield. Then it gets into shallow right. Dickinson throws his glove up there, reels it in, and that's the first out. And now Tommy Roldan will dig in. He's reached base in 2 of 3 plate appearances tonight.
Good recovery there by Dickinson out and by second base going into the outfield. At first he threw his arms up, Dylan, like he couldn't find the ball. And he ended up able to run and track it down for that first out for McDade.
Campbell gave chase to it, but McDade still being backed up cleanly there by Dickinson. Called strike 1, outer part of the plate. Roldan. We've mentioned his candidacy for VBL Player of the Week. Matt Cabram and I here, we're saying we approve that message. 2 walks for him in the contest tonight. Roldan slices this off of McDade. It's going to head over to third. Roldan's just going to run it out. And that's going to get ruled an infield single for Roldan, who's now reached base safely in 3 of 4 plate appearances tonight after it bounces off the foot of McDade. Sox will have a runner on for Robbie Levy, who's flown out twice tonight and had a fielder's choice. Felt like Levy's been close on a couple of these swings after homering for the 4th time this season last night. Now we'll see what he does with a runner on here and just an out. Sox lead 3-1 here in the bottom of the 7th.
And for Roldan, that's twice we've seen that tonight against the pitchers for the Braves. An infield single that deflects off them, and unfortunately that left side of the infield can't corral it in time to throw out the runners.
Throw over to first. Roldan will slide underneath the tag, applied by Campbell, and slide in safe. We'll get you some scores from around the Valley Baseball League. A absolute shootout in Strasburg. They lead over the Winchester 17-9 in the bottom of the 8th. Woof. A little bit more of a pitcher's duel by way of Waynesboro at Kate Collins Field as Levy cuts on the first pitch he sees. Big cut. Doesn't connect. 0-1 count with an out. Waynesboro leads 3-0 at Kate Collins Field over the Covington Lumberjacks. Still early in the top of the 4th. Front Royal leads over Purcellville. Cardinals lead over the Cannons, 2-1 in the top of the 7th, bottom of the 7th here, obviously. Sox leading 3-1. Harrisonburg up 10-4 over Culpeper at home, bottom of the 5th there. And Woodstock leads over Newmarket 4-0 in the bottom of the 5th there as well. Levy called strike on the outside part of the plate. Levy didn't love it, but he'll dial back in for the 0-2 count. But that's some scores from around the Valley League. Right here, though, it's a 3-1 ball game. Levy digs in as this is a part of our post-Father's Day bash here at the ballpark. The throw over to Roldan yet again. Say it on my end. Matt, I'll give you the time as well. Want to thank all the incredible fathers out there, but most particularly, I wasn't on the headset on Father's Day itself, but happy belated Father's Day to my dad. And thanks for, being a great inspiration, role model, and all he's done for me. Matt, I'll cue it up to you after this Levy pitch so we can both get our brownie points. Ball high to Levy here.
Yeah, and for my dad, I'm excited. I go home in just a few days. I am going home for my cousin's wedding, but me and my father on the 27th, we are catching a Copa America game at MetLife Stadium. That would be between his father's descent of Uruguay against Bolivia, so that's going to be a very fun game for us to go watch. And if you remember on our Father's Day special, mine and Gigi Jones, our pregame video.
The 1-2 off and running is Roldan. Roldan slides. Ball kicks into center. He's going to be safe at second. Throw likely would have had him in time. It was a real good one from Carreras, but ball kicks up, and Roldan will kick it over to second. Continue, please, sir.
Yeah, but back on Father's Day, me and Gigi Jones, as I'd let you take the reins there for a second, talked about what our fathers meant to us and how we got into our sports journalism personalities. And, big shout out to my dad for definitely being the reason why I'm doing what I do today, and I love him so much.
So post-Father's Day bash, call your dad if you didn't remember on Father's Day, because a week later, it's not too late, clearly, here at Willie T. Barnett Field. Levy cuts on this one, fouls it back, and stay tuned for our post-Mother's Day bash. That'll be in 2 weeks. I'm kidding, clearly. Levy digs in, runner at second.
Oh, Dylan, you got all the jokes tonight. We did have a few dad jokes earlier.
You got more for us?
I'll find some.
Levy digs in, 2-2 count. Sox lead by 2. Runner on second and Roldan with just an out. Levy's ready. McDade ready. McDade checks in at Roldan. Now winds, fires inside, just misses. Count won't go full. Payoff pitch incoming. Colby Wallace stands in the on-deck circle. He's flown out twice. One was a sac fly that drove home a run. 1 of 3 for the Sox tonight. And then he struck out in his other plate appearance. All right, lay one on us here after this the payoff pitch with an out and the runner in scoring position. Levy's ready. The 3-2. Levy roped into right field. Is it going to get down? It won't. A sliding grab and now getting the throw back to second. It's a double play. What a play. Wenrich dives in. Roldan, because it looked like it was going to bloop in, was already halfway to third. Throw in time, and a doubled up play will send us to the top of the 8th. That dad joke will have to wait, but in the meantime, Sox lead 3-1 going to the 8th here on Tom Sox TV. Sweet Home Alabama has ceased playing here at CHS as we welcome you back in on Tom Sox TV. Matt Cabram, Dylan Price here at CHS for all your coverage of Tom Sox games as Marco Lavari continues on in the outing. First offering here to Dickinson is called strike 1. So Sweet Home Alabama made me remind of a toy I had as a kid. This is super weird, but it's why I was familiarized with the song when I was younger. So the toy itself, I looked it up for you, Matt, so you know I'm not going crazy, is that's a ball one here. It bounces off the backstop. So it had 2 hunters in it in a green truck and a deer strapped to the front, presumably that they went hunting and got successful with. And their heads, and the deer's head, despite it being on the front of the truck, would beep bop up and down, and the Sweet Home Alabama would play. I have it here.
It's right there. That's the toy.
Strike 2 here.
He's not lying.
I was hoping I'd be able to find it, and you guys wouldn't think I was crazy. It's a little strange for a under 10-year-old to own, as Mike Bolger completely agreeing there. The 1-2 from Lavari outside, ball 2. I believe it's definitely a toy my dad got me, not my mom. My dad, an avid gamesman, but yeah, it brought home the memory, literally, no pun intended, kinda. Sweet Home, Alabama.
Nice.
And I just wanted to show you, Matt. I wanted to share that with you. 2-2.
Well, I'm here to testify that you are not.
Levy gloves it, tossed over to Lavari.
But I wanted to make sure that you weren't,
Losing
talking
my
crazy.
marbles.
Yeah, I was going to say, I thought the toy is alive. It is real, so.
Regardless, Dickinson grounds out. Del Torre digs in. He's flown out, grounded out, and struck out in 3 plate appearances tonight. Had a long fly ball on that fly out. Thought it might go over the fence, but able to reel it in was Books. So with 1 out, Sox lead 3-1 here in the top of the 8th. Trying to send it to the bottom of the 8th. Add a little bit more insurance after that called strike to Del Torre from Lavari. Add a little more insurance and then try to preserve this victory. Braves down to their last 5 outs. Del Torre, the pitch inside for ball 1. Braves 10-9, looking to stay above 500. Sox 14-4, a commanding lead over the second place Turks and the rest of the South Division. It's 14-4 coming into tonight for the Sox as this is sent on a line into left field. Book's going to take a step back and reel it in for out number 2. Great play there from Jake Books. Reads it and reels it in. So it's 14-4 for the Sox, 9-8 for the Turks, 10-9 for the Braves, 8-11 for the Waynesboro Generals, 7-11 for the Covington Lumberjacks, and 6-11 for the Culpeper Cavaliers. It's a lot of parity once you get down from the top. Really no difference. Not a huge one, at least, separating the Braves and the Turks. And then after that, 2 games back are the Generals, Lumberjacks, and Cavs, all within a game or so of each other as that's cut on the first offering here to Campbell. Lavari gets him to swing, 0-1 count.
Lavari, too, in that last appearance against Culpeper. Let me throw that strike. But was certainly not his best Dylan, but the boys still ended up rallying for him. He did give up a go-ahead home run in the bottom half of the 8th to one of their power hitters. Kind of stunned the dugout for a little bit, but then the guys got out and they were ready to hit, and they ended up picking him up, and he got the win.
Chopped down the third base side. Lavari just going to glove it and let Campbell run it out. Wasn't going to be able to make a play on it there. So with 2 outs, down to their last 4 outs, the Braves have a runner on here in Campbell after the infield single, and it'll tee up Brad Garner, who's flown out and grounded out, both by way of a 5-3 play. Will come to bat here, representing the tying run. Braves need some offense, and they need it fast. Lavari readies. Runner now on first in Campbell. Second time today, Campbell has reached base. Second hit for Campbell. He has, as this is going to bounce behind Strickland, called ball, and now in scoring position is Campbell, who represents what would be the second run, and at the plate is the tying in Garner. So 2 hits tonight for Wyatt Campbell, a 2-for-4 performance up to this point. He represents 2 of the 4 hits for the Braves tonight. Just 8 combined hits in the contest, actually 9 after rolled hands infield single in the previous frame. It's been a pitcher's duel. Lavari fires right down the middle, called strike 1. Count now even at 1 apiece. Lavari working out of the stretch with the runner on second. Ready for the 1-1 to the DH with 2 outs here in the top of the 8th. Lavari checks in, kicks the leg, fires sky high, moonshot into left field. Books comes forward, takes a step or 2, and reels it in for out number 3. No runs, a hit, no errors, and 1 man left on base. We head to the bottom of the 8th. Sox lead 3-1. Hang with us for the conclusion of this one on Tom Sox TV. Brecken Nace is on to pitch for Staunton as they look to try to make quick work. 3 outs here of the heart of the Sox order and try to send it to the top of the 9th to mount some offense. And now myself, Matt Cabram, and Mike Bolger are feeling right at home here as Sweet Caroline plays here at Willie T. Barnett Field.
Man, do I miss Beaver Stadium, Dylan.
August 31st, the season will kick off against in Morgantown against the West Virginia Mountaineers for the Nittany Lions. But back at home, Sweet Caroline will play September 7th. They'll take on Bowling Green. Should be a real barn burner in that one.
Oh, yeah. For one team.
Want to make a correction here. Mason McDowell, actually, here on to pitch. 43, not 33. He's from Lynchburg College, about an hour or so from here. And he will look to send it to the bats in the top of the 9th. Correction here from our SID, David Argo, as the pitch outside for ball 1. It's now no longer Lynchburg College, it's University of Lynchburg. The 1-0 incoming from McDowell to Wallace. Outside, almost the exact same pitch yet again. So for McDowell on the season, he's a junior from Fishersville, Virginia. He's got a 1 win, no losses in 3 appearances with a 1.8 ERA on the season. Last pitched on Thursday. Actually, that was Wednesday against the Generals. Called strike 1, 2-1 count. He went 2 innings, 2 walks, a strikeout, and a hit.
Good outing there against the Generals in a 5-4 game.
Also was accredited for the win in that one. The 2-1 incoming to Colby Wallace, who's trying to get a little bit of a pad beyond those 2 runs for the Sox. Fouled back. Count now even at 2 apiece. So McDowell trying to work out here and send it to the top of the 9th. It would be A.J. Wenrich, Ike Schmidley, and Frankie Carreras for the bats for the Braves, heading to the top of the 9th. But for now, Sox trying to extend their advantage a little bit more. The 2-2, Wallace right up the middle. Covering at short is Del Torre. He gets the throw off. It's high, and applying the tag is the first baseman in Wyatt Campbell. So Colby Wallace will go down, and that's the first out here for the Braves.
And a good read over there for Campbell at first, coming off the bag on that throw by Del Torre. Slapping that tag on Wallace for that first 6-3 put out. Start the 8th.
Johnny Lopez digs in the box, and Jake Books on deck for the Sox. Books having 2 of those 5 hits for the Sox tonight. During the break, showed Matt Cabram the video evidence of the truck with the deer with the 2 hunters. If you're just joining us, it was a toy I had as a child. As the ball, first pitch to Lopez, a ball. I'm an honest man, but I still needed to prove to you that they actually did sing and that the deer sung as well, despite being tied to the front of the truck.
We got Mike Bolger and we have Cassie in our analytics staff. We were all in awe of that toy that you had. So you were not a liar. We will be the first to say that it does exist. And for the viewers at home, it is a real toy.
I highly, highly doubt they sell it anymore. 1-0, 1 out.
I just say I don't think that toy is sold.
Next pitch to Lopez, called ball 2. 2-0, 1 out here as the Seminole State Swiss Army knife, as he's been coined, digs in for the 2-0 offering from McDowell. Lopez, big cut, won't connect. Count goes to 2-1 with an out. Lopez was looking to replicate his performance from yesterday with that long home run, as Matt's alluded to. So got some context given that the Royals were up 9-5 on the Express in that Strasburg game. Strasburg now up 19-9 as that winds out. Wow, as another pitch here to Lopez inside for ball 3. Lopez pitch away from working a walk and teeing up Parham, or Books, then Wynn, then Parham.
Now with 3-1 to Lopez. Just trying to get more insurance run here for the Tom Sox.
The 3-1 with an out to Lopez. High outside for ball 4. Lopez will head to first, and Jake Books, who has a 2-for-3 night tonight, will head to the plate, trying to maybe make some more noise. He's also scored one of the 3 runs for the Sox. He scored the second in the 6th. Dean Mijos and Ryan Wynn brought the other 2 runs around. Books, the Chanticleer, readies. With a runner on now in Lopez, they'll throw over to that runner, McDowell. Campbell applies the tag, and Lopez slides back safely. So with an out, a runner on, Jake Books digs in. Books, Mijos joining the team from Coastal Carolina, 2 of the newest faces. Books sees the pitch inside of 4-1. It's just game 5 for Books and 5 for Mijos. They've started all those games but 1. Books and Mijos playing together here for the summer. Taking off as Lopez fouled back by Books. Count will go 1-1. So Books and Mijos, a duo on this roster. We have David Wiley and Ryan Wynn, a duo on this roster, coming by way of Wofford. We also have Nick Parham and Colby Wallace from ECU. A lot of duos, a lot of guys not coming here alone. They're coming with friends, coming with pals. For the most part. The 1-1 with an out and a runner on for the Sox, who lead 3-1 here in the bottom of the 8th. Called strike on Books. He falls behind in the count. Now 1-2 with an out, and Ryan Wynn in the on-deck circle. Of course, Matt, you and I did not come alone. A litany of Nittany Lions here. 4 of us out here for the summer, as sliding in safely is Lopez. It's Matt, Mike, myself, and Gigi Jones, who's roaming around today with a camera, taking some photos and running our social medias.
Shout out to Belisario. Shout out to Penn State.
The 1-2 with an out. Books lashed, fouled on the third base side. Drop in just by that median as one kid will chase after it. The big crowd has stayed and persisted throughout the course of the contest. Some on the hill have gone home for the evening. It's 9 p.m., although it's not a school night. There's a bunch of kids up there. Get them back before camp tomorrow. The 1-2 outside. Ball 2. 2-2 with an out. But for the most part, the crowd right here in front of us has stuck around for what has been a really, really good Sunday night baseball contest. 3-1 your score in a pitcher's duel. Sox lead. Books, readies, the 2-2, another one fouled back. Books working a lengthy at bat. So we took you through some of the scores of the VBL. Tonight, Sunday night baseball, coming by way of Wrigley Field, where the New York Mets lead 4-0 right now. A really good Sunday night baseball game in that one. So after the conclusion of this game, catch the conclusion of that game on ESPN. Carl Ravitch and co. have the call, as that nearly...
No Carl Ravitch. He's in Omaha.
He's in Omaha with the College World Series, actually.
I forgot who their backup guy is there for ESPN. I think this is the second time this year there's been no Carl Ravitch. So he does do a good job with that ESPN broadcast.
The 2-2, high for ball 3. Now I'm investigating. I want to see who's on the call tonight.
Honestly, me too.
Yeah,
Lindor and Nimmo went back-to-back in the first. So shout out to the Mets. Even though Mike does not want to hear anything about the Mets, Mike hates the Mets. To our left, just giving me a thumbs down and a raspberry.
Payoff pitch. Back-to-back walks. Lopez was running regardless. Books will head to first, and now that's back-to-back walks for McDowell and 2 runners on for Ryan Wynn. And the amazing Mets, led by the Grimace Effect, you and I talked about it the other day. Some other scores, though, for you here from around the majors. Diamondbacks fall to the Phillies. There's one for Mike Bolger. Phils win at home 4-1. Yanks fall 3-1 to the Braves. Rays win 3-1 from PNC Park over the Pirates. Red Sox over the Reds 7-4. Marlins over the Mariners 6-4. 11-2 for the Tigers over the White Sox in that central game. Pitch outside here from McDowell. It's 1-0 count. Guardians over the Blue Jays 6-5. Stros over the Orioles 8-1 at home. Cards over the Giants 5-3. Rangers over the Royals 4-0. Nationals over the Rockies 2-1. Twins over the Athletics 3-0 from the Coliseum. Another pitch to win inside, ball 2. And the Brewers top the Padres 6-2. And as mentioned, Mets lead 4-0 ahead of a day off before the New York Mets and New York Yankees link up this week from Citi Field for first iteration of the Subway Series as a mound visit prompted mid-at-bat here with McDowell struggling with some control issues. He's walked Lopez and Books in back-to-back at-bats, and now Wynn already ahead 2-0 with just an out as the Braves trying to keep this in striking distance. But yes, Subway Series, one of the greatest rivalries in sports on the docket this week. Matt and I, despite both working for the same squad in the VBL, will be enemy lines for 2 games.
And even with the Mets not being as good as their season has looked right now, they actually are turning on since the Grimace effect has happened. The Mets and the Yankees, when those two play, they always bring out the best in those series. So it will be a fun 2 games. Wish we could have more, unfortunately. 2 now, 2 later on in the summer, as it usually goes every few years. And for the Braves, as Dylan was talking about this mound visit, there's no one warming up. We got someone who is standing up, probably stretching, but the Braves want this to stay close right here, and they want it to stay 3-1.
And you want it to stay and not have to use another arm here, and ideally that's the game plan, as Tom Sox will see what happens here, if Marco Lavari will finish it out or if we'll see another arm. For now, though, 2-0 count for Wynn after the mound visit. 2 on by way of walk. Right down the middle, called strike 1, so the count now 2-1. In the dugout with a hat on. Not sure if that means he's coming in. Garrett Mason is there. But for now, it's Marco Lavari's show.
We haven't seen Garrett Mason in a while, so it'd be nice to see him get an appearance if he can.
Count now 3-1. Wynn digs in. Runners on first and second. Books and Lopez, both by way of walks. McDowell trying not to walk a third straight batter. The 3-1 with an out. Wynn. Roped foul behind home. More than just roped. Struck foul behind home. Our videographer, Emmy Franklin, was quick reflexes, but ball was a little bit over her head. 3-2 and out. 2 on for the Sox. They lead 3-1 here in the bottom of the 8th, trying to put together another big win as Wynn fouls it back, almost the exact same spot. Parham, who's in the on-deck circle, will just top out here and shag the ball and toss it back into Cale Strickland. Sox looking to try to go to 15-4 on the season and be the first team to get to 15 games, 1 on the campaign as Wynn fouls another off. Strasburg, if everything holds, and actually, they've just advanced to 14-5, so they can join them tomorrow as it does hold in that game. First final in the VBL today, 19-9 the final in that.
High scoring.
Real shootout. 3-2 and out. 2 on for the Sox, who lead 3-1 in the bottom of the 8th. Win another one. Fouled back, and we will go again with another payoff pitch incoming. Huge at-bat here if McDowell can get through Wynn and then head to Parham, who's tonight, he's reached on an error, worked a walk, and flown out. Wynn. The 3-2 to him. Roped into right field. It's going to get down for a base hit. Lopez is going to stay put at third. They're not going to send him, and the bases will be loaded as Ryan Wynn gets another hit. The Wofford Terrier continuing his hot summer.
What an at-bat there by Ryan Wynn. It was 3-2 for about 5 pitches in a row. Dylan just kept fouling him off, staying alive, and he's able to find one that he likes, as you mentioned, as you guys spoke about not too long ago, the pitches that he likes to find, bat on ball, puts it where no one was, right through the middle of the first and second baseman. Now we got the bases loaded for Parham. 1 out.
So now Parham digs in. Lopez on third, Books on second, Wynn at first. 2 by way of walks. That's Lopez and Books. And Wynn getting to first on that single. Pitch inside nearly hits Parham. Called ball number 1. 1 out here, and the Sox leading 3-1. Trying to vault themselves out just a little bit further before the top of the 9th as they try to tie a bow on this one. 1-0 the count to the ECU Pirate in Parham. The 1-0. Sails yet again. It'll go to 2-0 in the on-deck circle. It's Cale Strickland, who's flown out twice and struck out looking in 3 plate appearances tonight. Strickland, another full game caught. It was a platoon at first between Strickland, Levy, and then sometimes Jack McMullen, but Strickland has pretty much been catching almost every day throughout the course of the past 2 weeks. The 2-0 to Parham. Check swing. Parham did not go. Count now 3-0. No place to put Parham. And the Sox knocking on the door of adding some offense onto that 3-1 lead they currently hold. The 3-0. Kicks the leg, fires, Parham fouls back. It was the get-me-over fastball. Parham just a little behind it. And now the 3-1 incoming. McDowell working with Lopez on third. Books on second, and Wynn at first. Just an out. The 3-1 to Parham. Once again, fouled back. Count now full. Strickland will run on over and retrieve it. And once again, we have another full count.
Well, from 3-0 down to 3-2. Battle tested for McDowell. Trying to limit this damage as much as he can and be big if he gets the out here.
Payoff pitch from McDowell. High, ball 4. That'll walk in a run. Lopez will come home. Everybody will move up a base, and the Sox will lead now 4-1, and the bases will remain loaded for Cale Strickland.
And you know what? Maybe Randy Tama knew something that we didn't know. He thought that throw was on that base hit from Wynn earlier. Wasn't good enough for Johnny Lopez to test it. Held him at third, and now that walk will bring him in.
So, bases remaining loaded. Strickland will work with an out. And a 4-1 lead now. Strickland chops this. It gets into right field. It's going to slip through. 1 run will score. 2 runs will score. Parham will head to third after it sneaks through both Campbell and Dickinson into right field just narrowly. Cale Strickland with a 2 RBI single. And the Sox have blown this open. They lead 6-1 here in the bottom of the 8th.
Same thing, back-to-back, or I shouldn't say back-to-back, but just like Wynn did. Find it that hole through the first and second baseman. 2 runs come in here to score. Parham goes all the way over to third. Sox are still in business, Dylan. We have a 5-1 game.
And that was weird. It just eked under the glove of Campbell, and then wasn't entirely sure, just with the way the fence is, if Dickinson came up with it, but it snuck through in Strickland. A huge play at a huge time, and it's a 6-1 score. Mijos showed bunt. Actually nabbed a piece of Carreras. He's going to pop up, and now the Braves, who had this in striking distance, they're going to warm someone in the pen. We'll have an update for you on who that is in just a moment if he does in fact come in. But with an out, the Sox now lead by 5. 6-1 here in the bottom of the frame. And what has been a pretty defensive contest, low scoring, not like what happened in Strasburg tonight in that 19-9 affair. This was low scoring. This was a 3-1 ball game, but with Cale Strickland and some walks, the Sox now lead by 5. Top of the order, Dean Mijos showed bunt on the first, pulled back, but it was still a strike. This time it's outside, ball 1. 1-1, 1 out, 2 on. Strickland on first, Parham now on third. For Parham, he's now reached base in 3 of 4 plate appearances tonight. For Strickland, keeps his really good run going. Sails high, ball 2. 2-1, 1 out. And Mijos, who has 2 hits for the Sox tonight, a single and a double, as Carreras is going to trot out to talk to his pitcher in McDowell. Also coming in is Del Torre, and they will have a conversation here about how to address Mijos.
And right now for the Braves, Dylan, we mentioned it earlier before the runs came in to score. They're just trying to save arms right now. So any way they can try to get these 2 outs as quick as possible, that's what they're trying to do here. As they do have guys getting loose in that Stanton bullpen, but to use a guy for only 2 outs and then his night's over is just what they're trying to avoid.
And Tommy Roldan in the on-deck circle. I know we've already mentioned it once, and you noticed it yesterday when you were out there in Stanton. But that white helmet is pearly white. It's got the Virginia Cavaliers logo on the front.
And I was going to say, not only is it the logo, it's in the American flag throughout the V. So it's
Really?
pretty cool.
That is a really cool helmet for Roldan. Back to the action on the diamond. Mijos digs in. First base, it's Cale Strickland, who just singled in 2 runs. And Parham stands on third. Runners on the corners. Sox lead 6-1, 2-1 count for Mijos with an out. Mijos inside, the pitch lands. Wow. And it'll be a called strike 2. 2-2 and out, 2 on for the green and blue. Mijos, the 2-2. To him from McDowell, hangs up. Just never broke until the tail end there. And now a full count here, and McDowell in danger of walking what would be his 4th batter of this inning. After retiring Colby Wallace, he has let everybody else on that he has faced. Mijos sent right up to Del Torre. Tags, gets the first out, gets the second. 6-3 double play, works McDowell out of a jam, but the damage certainly done. Sox double their score. It's now 6-1. Cale Strickland driving in 2 of those runs, and they now lead heading into the top of the 9th. Can the Braves mount a comeback, or will the Sox become the first team in the VBL to get to 15 wins and continue their hot start to the season? Stick and stay. Hang with us, because why would you leave here on Tom Sox TV? Marco Lavari will continue on as he looks to close out the victory for the Sox. For the Braves, it's Wenrich, Schmidley, and Carreras. Maybe some more, but certainly no less. Lavari ready. He'll kick some dirt off the rubber and ready to go. Sox now lead 6-1 after a 3-run bottom of the 8th. Dylan Price, Matt Cabral, welcome you back into a post-Father's Day bash at Willie T. Barnett Baseball Field. If you couldn't make it out for tonight's game, well, we'll give you some of the upcoming events to look forward to, as that's a called strike 1 on the first pitch to Wenrich. Tomorrow it's the Prospect Games out in Lynchburg, as the Sox will have representation from Cade Ballou, Daniel Powell, Ryan Grayshak, Colby Wallace, and Ethan Sutton as the next pitch low for ball 1, and Randy Tomlin also joining them out there as well. And then after that, the Charlottesville Tom Sox continue this little bit of a break. It's like a 2-dayer, as the next pitch there doesn't hit its mark, so it's a ball
2-1 now.
2. I'm trying to pull up the upcoming schedule. I had it and then I lost it. It happens sometimes, folks. So for the Sox, as this is lined into left field, and Ryan Wynn nearly reeling that in. It would have been a serious web gem, but it bounces off, and a runner on here for the Braves. That's how you get a rally started. A.J. Wenrich will head over to first base, and that's going to get rightfully ruled a single after a bit of a weird play there. Wynn did a great job, though, trying to corral it in. So for the Sox coming up, it is some representation at the Prospect Games in Lynchburg. Then it's a trip to Casey Field, the long 2-hour bus ride to Covington, coming up this week on the 26th, as the next pitch, ball 1. Then it is the 27th. Tom Sox back here at home. They'll play host to, you guessed it, the Staunton Braves yet again. 7 p.m. first pitch as the 1-0 offering is chopped over to Wynn. Wynn coming, going to try to make a play on it. He won't be able to in time. It just took a tough bounce in terms of, one, it just kind of hung up in the grass, and then by the time it got to Wynn, it was a tough play to try to reel in. And instead, it's going to be an infield single, and just like that, 2 runners on for the Braves, and the Bravos trying to mount a comeback. So it's a trip to Covington, then they're back home against Staunton for local music appreciation night on the 27th, and then on the 28th, it's Waynesboro First Responders Night, 7 p.m., 5 days from now. First offering to Carreras, ball number 1. And that's that until we get into the All-Star break next weekend. June 29th to the 30th at Percival, Virginia at Fireman's Field. That's a tongue twister, and that's called Strike 1. Tom Sox will have some representation there. Selections for the All-Star game will be revealed tomorrow, so you'll go to bed tonight with some suspense. Who from the Tom Sox and who from the Braves will be representing them in the All-Star game?
Well, I want to make an early candidate pick. I want to send DJ Press play over there, Ben Rakash. He definitely deserves to be an All-Star.
Next offering here to Carreras, ball 2. I'm sure Ben will be there one way or another, but hey, come on, VBL, if you're listening right now, let's name that guy to the All-Star game. Foul back. 2-2 against Carreras. Quite a few guys on this team who certainly have candidacy and have staked the claim that they should be there, one of which currently on the bump in Marco Lavari. Lavari's ready and about to throw to a battery here in Cale Strickland, who may truly just be the best catcher in the VBL, and he could be there as well. We'll all find out tomorrow. The 2-2. Lined over to third. Lopez will run after it even though it bounces foul, as Lavari here led up 2 infield base hits. One of them kind of slipped into the outfield, but hey, we're splitting hairs here.
Well, it was the jumping grab by Wynn, but he couldn't glove it down. He got up there on the ladder, just couldn't close leather.
Wynn's got hops for sure. The 2-2. Once again, fouled back, this time down the first base side. And we'll go again. Carreras sending a lot foul for the crowd that has still persisted for quite a while in this contest. It's over 2 hours and 30 minutes to this point. Game started at 7:01. Lavari trying to close it out here before 10 o'clock. Chopped. Once again, foul. This time towards the Braves dugout. So we'll go again, and Garrett Mason will come out and trot out some fresh baseballs. So Lavari will get set to pitch after 2 hits from Wenrich and Schmidley. Wenrich stands on second, Schmidley at first, and at the plate, it's Frankie Carreras, catcher. Digs in, the 2-2 from the Old Dominion Monarch in Lavari. Once again, fouled back, and this one grabbed a piece of Strickland. Strickland, a stinger. And his father, Scott, coming out right now, assistant coach for the team, former University of Georgia head coach. As Randy Tomlin will come out as well. Strickland pops right back up. We'll just walk it off and get some claps, rightfully so, from the audience. He'll take a beat here. Home plate umpire will give him ample time to do so, and he'll put his mask back on. So showing once again why catchers, umpires, anybody back there, 2 of the toughest individuals in this entire sport. Strickland. He's ready. Carreras ready. Lavari, the 2-2, as we go again with 2 on, as the Sox leading by 4, 6-1 in the bottom of the 8th. Cut on and miss, strike 3. Marco Lavari gets an out by way of strikeout. His first strikeout of the night. The team's leading strikeout getter now adds another. Actually, that's his second strikeout of the night. He came halfway through the 7th in relief of Brett Gassman.
19 on the season now for Lavari.
What a start to this inning for the Braves, that now Lavari gets a strikeout to take some pressure off. It's ball 1 to Carreras. Or to Prince, excuse me. Prince has been hit by a pitch twice and grounded out once. So he's reached base twice tonight, but doing it the hard way, laying the body on the line, as that's called strike 1. Both hit by pitches almost exactly in the same spot in that 2-6 on the numbers. 1-1, 1 out, 2 on. Lavari kicks the leg, fires, cut on and missed. Big cut there from Prince. And now he's down to his last strike, and the Braves down to their last 2 outs, trying to stay alive and trying to stay above 500. The 1-2, skied foul back behind home plate. And we'll go again. A lot of foul balls here in the back end of this contest. If you're a kiddo out there and you're looking for some souvenirs, but please don't keep them, return them. You can get a prize as well.
Or an ice cream.
Or
Not this late, though, in the game. I think concessions are closed here, sadly, Dylan.
Foul ball, but Brady Bogart arguing that it might have hit Prince for the 3rd time tonight. He's saying it did. and the umpires will converge to discuss it. So if you can't make it out, though, for any of the games on the docket, whether it be local music appreciation night or any of the upcoming festivities, well, thank you for always hanging with us here on Tom Sox TV. We'll have you covered for all the home coverage and even a couple of the away games coming up. And you and Mike will be on the scene tomorrow for the prospect games, correct?
Yes, sir.
Heading out to Lynchburg, Virginia for what should be a really cool experience. Wishing the best for you. Safe travels as well. Enjoy
Thank you,
it.
sir. Appreciate it.
And then what's the deal? Are we playing softball tomorrow or what? Is this
It'll be
intern
Tuesday,
softball?
Tuesday.
Tuesday, okay.
Well, hopefully everyone has enough gloves. If not, there's going to be no intern softball game. There's not enough equipment. So
We'll have you covered with the latest on our potential intern softball games as they start coming up. But for the third time tonight, the umpires ruled that Nate Prince was hit by a pitch. And now, what a moment, because the tying run is in the on-deck circle for the Braves. It's 1-2. Well, no, the count will now be fresh. It's 1 out, bases loaded. Prince on first after being hit by a pitch. A pair of singles from Schmidley and Wenrich have them at second and third, respectively. And we're back at the top of the order as Lester, first pitch to him from Lavari, ball number 1. Now there's action in the Sox pen as they will hope that Lavari can navigate through, and it will be just 3 arms used today. A great day for bullpen management. Lavari kicks, fires the 1-0 outside, 2-0. Lavari, no place to put Lester. And Aiden Alexander warming for the Sox. Lavari out of the stretch, fires the 2-0. Breaks over the heart of the plate. Strike 1. So Lavari trying to battle back and escape this inning scot-free with the bases loaded here. Sox lead 6-1. They've got that insurance. And now showing why it was so crucial. Cut on and miss, strike 2. And now the count even, and Lavari trying to strike out his second in the inning and tee this up to Dickinson with the game on the line for the Braves. Braves 10-9, trying to stay above 500. Sox trying to become the first team to 15 in the VBL. The 2-2 outside for ball 3. Count now full. As we've mentioned, no place to put Jacob Lester, the third baseman, who tonight has struck out, flown out, grounded out, and lined out. Really got every kind of out. Now Lavari shrugged off the first sign from Strickland. The 3-2. Doesn't hit the mark, just outside, and a run will come around. That's Wenrich, and that's the second run tonight for Staunton. Bases remain loaded, and the tying run is at the plate in Dickinson, and we've got a ball game, folks.
yeah, and just like you said, the tying run is now up at the plate. We had the bases juiced. So right now, if you're Lavari, and this actually might be it for him, that is, Randy Tomlin will signal for the lefty Alexander to come in.
So he will do just that. Marco Lavari's night is done. We'll close his line in a little bit, and we'll give Aiden Alexander some time to warm up. Ladies and gentlemen, the Braves have made this interesting. With 1 out, the tying run steps to the plate. He'll face Aiden Alexander when we get back in just a beat. Stick and stay with us on Tom Sox TV. Aiden Alexander comes in relief of Lavari. Strickland pops up, and we are back here on Tom Sox TV. I wounded myself for the second time this season. I have tripped coming back and forth from the booth. This time I think I drew a little blood. That's a post-game problem. For now, Aiden Alexander's in. Bases loaded as this roped foul down the first base side.
And for Alexander coming in, big moment here. Bases are loaded, so a tough task to come in and try to make sure he keeps his 1.22 ERA intact. He's 2-0 on the year. 2 credited wins in his last 2 appearances against the Cavaliers and the Turks. 9 1/3 innings pitched, 6 strikeouts, 2 walks, 4 hits, Dylan.
1-1. Hits its mark. Alexander in the driver's seat now against Dickinson. So the bases loaded for the Braves here. That comes by way of a Schmidley single, a hit by pitch, and a walk. Fouled off by Dickinson behind home plate. Count remain at 1-2. So it was a single from Wenrich, who came around to score. That was the second run for the Braves. Then it was a single by Schmidley, who now stands at third. A hit by pitch to Prince, and a walk to Lester plated that second run. But now Alexander trying to work out of a jam. The 1-2 to Dickinson. Dickinson skied tracking down the third base side. Can he get there? No, he can't. Books gave it quite a chase as it heads right behind the Staunton pen. I think I should be okay. Thank you to Matt Cabron for checking in after I took quite the fall. I called it myself. I was safe.
Well, I am your, just in case, I am your medical training staff. So I'm here just in case you need me.
The 1-2 just doesn't break enough for Alexander. So it's a 2-2 count with an out. And the bases remaining loaded here as Alexander trying to work out of this jam. 2-2, an out. And the bases loaded. Called strike 3. Aiden Alexander comes in, and Aiden Alexander gets a strikeout on Dickinson. And now the Braves are down to their last out.
And with Alexander coming into this game with the bases loaded in a 4-run game, multiple guys on guy on deck with the tying run up, he will be in line for a save if he can get this second out here.
He'll have to try to retire Jake Del Torre, one of the best bats in this lineup for the Braves, who swings on the first pitch he sees and fouls it behind home plate. Down to their last 2 strikes, and down to their last out are the Braves. Jake Del Torre, a Swiss Army knife in his own right. He's a pitcher with a 3.37 ERA, but some of his most danger has been at the dish, and against the Tom Sox, more particularly, he's put together really strong numbers on the season, as that is a ball. In 2 games against the Sox, he has 3 of his 15 hits on the season. A fifth of his hits, quick math for you there, have come against the Sox this season. The 1-1 to Del Torre fouled back, and now the Braves are down to their last strike. Alexander trying to put a stamp on what would be the 15th win on the season for the Sox. Bases loaded. Schmidley at third. Second, it's Prince. First, it's Lester. The 1-2, trying to work out of the jam and preserve the win, is Alexander. Outside, ball 2. Count now even at 2 apiece. Alexander takes a beat, and he'll dial back in. Bases loaded, 2 outs, 2-2. Sox lead 6-2 here in the top of the 9th. The 2-2, skied. Books giving chase. Win taking a step back. Win going to call it and corral it. And that's the final out. The Tom Sox go to 15-4 on the season. They're the first team in the Valley League to reach 15 victories, and they do it in a variety of ways, with some offense at the dish, led behind a 2 RBI single from Cale Strickland to add some insurance, and a pitching performance combined between Thomas Whalen, Brett Gassman, and Marco Lavari that saw just 2 runs cost the plate for the Braves. It was a team performance, a complete performance, and for the Tom Sox, it's another win against Staunton in back-to-back days.
Yeah, Dylan, just like you said, it was a team win. It was a tight one for such a long time. It was 3-1 all the way up until this 8th inning here, and then they blew it out of the doors late in the game in the 8th inning, which shows that they can fight in the beginning and all the way towards the end. Huge 3-run 8th inning. They'll get the 6 runs home, and just like that, we're going home with another win.
Brett Gassman didn't allow a run. Marco Lavari allowing just one. Thomas Whalen allowing just a run, and no runs allowed in Aiden Alexander's 2.2 innings pitched tonight. Alexander gets the save, Gassman the win, and the Tom Sox now go to 15-4 on the campaign. The Braves drop to 10-10, back to 500 they go. Sox first team to 15 in the VBL, and they do it with a lineup that came through in a big way tonight. Nearly everybody reached base. It was a complete team performance. Any final thoughts from you, Matt? We have a bit of a two-day stretch that's off tomorrow, but you can catch all the VBL Prospect Games coverage from Matt Cabram and Mike Bolger. They'll be on the scene in Lynchburg, Virginia tomorrow. Should be a great time as 5 Sox players and 1 Sox coach will be there. Cade Ballou, Colby Wallace, Daniel Powell, Ryan Grayshack, and Ethan Sutton, and Coach Randy Tomlin. Matt, enjoy it out there tomorrow. Any final thoughts as we sign out and almost at the halfway mark of the season as well?
Just another big team win. Top of the league, first to 15. Just a great momentum building here in Charlottesville. The chemistry is really building, and all around, just a great one here tonight in front of a good crowd.
Sox at home now go to 9-1 on the season. They continue to protect their home diamond and run roughshod across the Valley League. For our entire team here at Tom Sox TV, for Matt Cabram, I'm Dylan Price saying wherever you are, wherever you may be, thank you for hanging with us this evening. 6-2 the final. Tom Sox win. They advance to 15-4 on the season. Great game. Good night.